All right, guys, let's do it. Game number 1 in the next quarterfinal. And here we are, about 10 seconds in here. And, ooh, interesting color choices here, Dave. All right, we don't have to switch it on them then. We have Huns, game 1 for Gonzalo Pizarro. And Senjata playing as the Aztecs. I'm a little bit surprised to see Huns here, Dave. What about you?
Yeah, Hun's not really a civ we see in Arabia that much anymore, especially when you have other options to use them on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have expected something more along the lines of, I have to go back to the civ drop, but something like Mayans or Chinese or something a little bit more up to today's meta rather than the meta of 5 years ago where we saw Huns all the time.
Yeah, Senjata, 1 on Arabia, Mudflow, and Bypass. Very different maps, and Lost on Islands, which is that one that we brought up, and viewers voted that this person was Hera. One of like 3 people that viewers voted were Hera. So not too sure about that one, Dave. We have a lot of games to watch. We'll see and find out tomorrow after the reveal. But I think there is a player who once told me that they would like to pick Hun sometimes on Arabia and just send it and go crazy, expecting to maybe have better civilization saved for future maps. And that player was Nikov. But then again, Nikov is one of the few that actually communicates specifics to me. So maybe that means nothing.
Now, which civ do you favor in this matchup? It has to be Aztecs here, right?
Yeah, it definitely is Aztecs. But it wasn't too long ago where I'd see this matchup. I think it was qualifiers or even main event of NAC 3. And sometimes if Huns can get to that crucial Cav Archer mass, I mean, you could take out crossbows and you can take out eagles. So I think the go-to here is not knights, actually. It would be Cav Archers in the mid-game for Gonzalo. Obviously, a lot needs to go and play out before then, as we see an eagle go right into that TC, but still is alive there, Dave.
It's the shrubbery. I swear, it's these trees that look like bushes. They can't tell that they're trees, and they run into the TC. We've seen it like 3 times already today.
Some people, they get really hung up on their guesses of players. Dave gets really hung up on his reasons why, as that was an awful board lore. Dave gets hung up on his reasons why a player would run into the TC. Thank you, Dave. Now, that was very doubt right there. Not using the TC to weaken the boar. Boar pretty far away. It was unfortunate, but I remember not being totally convinced with Gonzalo the first 2 games in that set, but then ended up warming up a little bit. I don't know, man. That was really poor.
Yeah, it's a shaky start to game number 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Get some of that sometimes. You know, you probably played a game or 2 before the actual tournament games, but then the nerves get in, and you just need to get settled. But if you look at how clean the eco is for Senjata in comparison, and I'm curious to see if the TC will weaken the boar, as a lot of players are doing. Seems like a perfect opportunity for it. Yep, there you go. 2 shots, and boom. Lots of players are doing that, and it's right underneath the TC now.
Yeah, and we'll see if Red's TC weakens that boar as well.
Nope. Not even thinking about it, Dave. Oh my god! And lost the village. Wait, no. Did it die? It didn't die, did it? It looked like it died, but it hopped right into the TC. Woo!
That is lightning fast.
Yeah.
Lightning fast.
Dude, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but that is a pretty big tell that this might be a classic player. And we see a barracks opening for Gonzalo, and that is quite common for Aztecs as well. Senjata has actually not done that yet.
Yeah, Senjata's going for some fairly forward walls here in between those 2 wood lines, and he's actually going to push another deer. He's already pushed 1 into the TC.
Okay.
So pretty solid eco, and it looks like a fairly defensive style of play here for the Aztec player.
You know, really interesting way of playing this. A lot of people will push their deer and then scout late, but Senjata went forward and did a full circle around the enemy base. Knows where the berries, the wood, the gold is. Of course, doesn't know about this. But, and now has come home to push some deer. So I really like the thought process from Senjata. Find out where the enemy is, get an idea, and then come home, push in some deer for food, and play defensive.
I think you can afford to play defensive too, with the back wood lines here, and the back berries are super important as well.
Okay, Senjata. I forget who I guess viewers had said Hera, right? That's a tough one. You guys got to stop saying Hera for everybody. But I think some people were flirting with the idea of Yo possibly being Senjata. We're talking big names, and it certainly would fit the bill, Dave, to have great scouting and push in some deer and play safe with a Mesosiv. But we'll see.
Yeah, Pizarro going for some mega walls of his own behind this.
That's crazy to me, man. That is crazy to me. And I wonder if that's a reaction to seeing the walls from Senjata. He says, okay, if you wall, I'm going to wall. And here's the scout for Gonzalo. He will find the barracks, Dave. And while Senjata's going to be in the next stage faster, he's still pushing in deer. Is he going scouts? But yeah, it's not like Senjata's going to have man-at-arms or anything. So I think the walls will probably go up for Gonzalo, and Gonzalo will have no problems there.
Yeah, Gonzalo's going to struggle with his men-at-arms, though, to find anywhere he can really damage. And he's actually keeping them at home?
This reminds me of Gonzalo in game 1 and 2 of the round of 16, and I just continued to criticize Gonzalo for his passive play. That is weird to me, Dave. Maybe it was a misclick, accidentally ejected it onto the other side, but he's going to plug that gap. And very defensive players here.
Double barracks? What?
You know what, though? If you go Eagle Spearman long term, it's pretty good with Aztecs in this matchup. So I don't hate that. But
It's
I
such
do
an
hate
early double barracks, though.
Yeah, it is weird. It's very uncommon how we've seen this game. And look, gate attempt there from Senjata fails. But you know what? Man-at-Arms are absolutely sick against Eagles and Spearmen. I think the Man-at-Arm play is so late that Senjata just never expected it.
Yeah, he thought that pressure would definitely be coming forward earlier. And like you said, he scouted early, and then he spent all the rest of the time pushing the deer. So he doesn't have any vision on these walls from Red at all.
True. Yeah, I guess there's pros and cons to it all, but this is not what I expected when I saw this game. I thought we'd maybe see scouts against man-at-arms. We're seeing man-at-arms against Eagle scouts. And lots of walls for both, Dave, but I suppose the man-at-arms can do nothing, as we even see an archery range for Senjata. So 3 military buildings, 13 minutes into the game. That's pretty crazy.
Speaking of doing nothing, these Eagles are going to do nothing.
Oh, no, there's a hole. There's a hole there.
Is there? Is there not a tree behind that? Oh, Pizarro.
You spend your whole time walling your base, and then you leave a hole. Now you have to make another hole to send your scout back, and that contributes so very little, Dave. This is maybe first game jitters, and this is just so poor. Can technically fight it off with Vils, but it's hard to micro, and now he's adding another man-at-arm to defend. That's rough to see, dude.
Yeah, really forced into that. He's going to find the hole, too, and put a little wall in that hole there, but now he's got to be concerned about the pressure from Senjata. That's going to delay his castle age by quite a lot. Yeah. It's just not what you want to see if you're in Pizarro's position.
I mean, he did react nicely to it, so he didn't get surprised. And he hasn't lost a villager, and it's not like his men-at-arms are going to do anything on the front anyway. So I guess it's not the end of the world. And long-term, it's not like Gonzalo would really want to have men-at-arms as Huns. So I think
it's just an unnecessary distraction here, though.
Yep, exactly. And we see a gate attempt from Gonzalo to trap this, and that should work, so that's pretty good. I also like how Senjata realizes the Eagles won't do anything now. Is just trying to buy time. Weird game, Dave. Are you a little thrown back at how unique this has been so far?
It's just weird, right? Like, why open with double barracks Eagle Scouts if you're blue? And like, why go men-at-arms so late if you're red? It just feels like both players are adapting to stuff that they're seeing, but they haven't seen very much. So it's just weird.
I love how annoying Senjata's being here. Oh, man. And now the scout goes down on the front. But Senjata still hasn't taken any hits. This is why you don't see men-at-arms too frequently past early game, because they're just too slow. And, okay, let's see. Quick wall attempt from Gonzalo. But now, Dave, you've actually got some archers here. They don't have fletching or anything, but this does make Gonzalo think twice about this. He does have good resources to go up to Castle Age, too, so awkward moment for him.
I think Red's going to need it. Yeah, there's the tower. Red's going to need a tower on that gold for sure, because he has no production behind this.
Yeah.
Right? He's just hoping to get up to Castle Age and then go into his ideal composition. and you're going to have to delay blue from getting onto your gold or getting into your wood line or whatnot. And he's going to wall to the TC, tower the left-hand side. That'll give him enough time, most likely.
I really like this. Yeah, I really like how he's played this. The tower protects the wood line and the gold and the farm space a little bit. He's walled on the right side. Now, I think Senjata could easily have the guts to run by the palisades in a second. But like you said, it's all about cav archers here. So if you can get to cav archers comfortably, you're probably going all in aggression anyways, Dave. So it's not as if having to build that tower is a big deal. What's a big deal, though, is that the units might break through these palisades.
Yeah, if you're going cav archers, you're not adding that second TC until, you know, at least a few minutes into Castle Age, so you don't need that stone right away.
Yeah.
So tower's a good decision. Once he gets through this wall, though, he's gonna have some problems.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I would prefer Senjata's position. You could even justify making stone walls in that second layer, because you're not going to have the stone for TC anyways. You know how quickly palisades are going down.
Now he can run past. That TC is so far away from that other palisade wall. I'd almost want to, like, delete that farm if you're red.
This is an absolute repeat of the greed we saw from Gonzalo, which put him 2 games down in the round of 16 series. I didn't think Gonzalo had a chance. And then Gonzalo just became a different beast in 3 games after that and won 3-2 and one of the crazier sets of this tournament so far, Dave. And we see defensive skirms for now. I mean, in 90 seconds, we will see cav archers. But it feels like even having to leave your woodline and your farms would suck if you're Gonzalo.
And here comes, you know, we're switching into the Eagle production now. He's getting the infantry armor, Senjata, and he's sending a villager forward. People were saying Senjata could possibly be Yo, and I'm getting some Yo vibes right now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he did a similar thing in his other game. I believe they're all running together now, but I believe he was Mezzo and played extraordinarily well. And I still feel like in this Civ matchup, Huns are always at a disadvantage, right? But if you're going to win, 3 to 4 range cav archers is the way to go. And Doubt in particular, I've seen do this and get these wins many times. So I'm very curious to see how well Gonzalo is going to be able to manage this, because it certainly doesn't look pretty, but it can be.
I like the way he's just like, yeah, I'll abandon those 5 farms. I don't need farms. I just need 15 vills on gold and
I know, right?
3 archery ranges, and then in addition to that, you need about like 5 minutes to build up that mass.
Don't freak out. Guys, here's a restore, okay? So whatever happened, there was a drop. Don't freak out. No one called GG. No one called GG. There was a drop, and we have the restore, so we're going to get right into that right now. I actually had forgotten that Robo told me that, and I thought Gonzalo called it. I was about to be so pissed. Anyways, we should be back in the game here in just a second. Right back where the disconnect happened. And here we go, Dave. And we are back in, and both players in Castle Age now. Cav archers on the way. And the skirmishers should be able to deal with the archers here, which I think is quite good. And then the cav archers, you just have to get to high enough number to deal with eagles, which does take some time.
I find it interesting that Senjata's gone for a monastery here first instead of a siege workshop.
Yeah, maybe wants to get a few monks out. I mean, at the very least, to get some relics could be cool with Aztecs. And I was wrong. The archers are actually going to make it out of here, and the eagles might run right in. But does this not look like a classic Hun player's eco, Dave, from 5 years ago? 2 mining camps on the gold, tower there, and 6 on food. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's just trying to weather the storm until he can get, 20, 25 cav archers. And then hopefully win a big fight and snowball that across the map. I think if we're looking at a player, if we were discussing Yo, right? If we're looking at a player like Yo, he's going to keep this forward pressure.
Yep.
Whoever Senjata is, or he's going to keep this forward pressure and then add a few TCs behind. And there's the second TC for his economy.
Yep, good call, man. I also been very impressed with Senjata's farms. I don't know who you would say as the most neat farms, but there's something about the standout here, and it happened as well in the other series, where the farms are very, very clean. But, things to speculate on, Dave, and I think it's a good move for Senjata to get that eco lead with the Vil count, because I feel like the storm is coming. That's a lot of cav archers already.
Yeah, he's done a really good job to mass those. kept his gold secure, which is a really, really important part of Cav Archer production, and he's just going to ignore this army completely and head to Senjata's base.
Okay, that farmer needs to choose one of the other farms. Don't farm there anymore. And Dave, this is an interesting move, right? I wonder if Senjata's going to pick up on this, because he doesn't see the big ball anymore. He might realize that something might be looping around on him.
He's looping around behind. He's not going to the economy. He's going to go behind the army.
He was in there with 3 as well to snipe the monk. Dave, that was really good for Gonzalo. Wow. Now, I think he should get out of here with these 3 Cav Archers, and he's not really microing these other ones the best. All right, but you've still got 19 Cav Archers. It's 19 military versus 16. This feels like if the Cav Archers continue to mass, and maybe a few Knights come out, this could be big. But raids with Eagles? No. Okay, he runs back.
I think that's a good decision from Senjata. Some players would have tossed those in there to see what kind of villager picks they can get, but with 3 archer ranges producing Cav Archers in this little confined space, I think the Eagles are just going to get killed immediately. And now here comes Red looping around to Blue's base. Senjata, though, fully walled with a second TC on the wood line.
Right, now it feels like there's going to be an avenue for attack if you get in, though. So I think house walls might be needed here. You're going to want to be bold if you're Gonzalo, because you know he's on TCs. And this is a good counterattack for Gonzalo. Look at the idle time it's causing, Dave. This is all before something like Ballistics and Thumbring could come in. And then the Cav Archers on the front picked off the repair villager, and they're microing against the Scorpions.
Yeah, that's really good. Pizarro is doing what he needs to do as the Huns here, keeping Blue distracted at home and holding him off at the front as well. Blue, though, has gone for his 3rd TC on the left-hand side, securing another gold spot, and he's come back with the Eagles now.
Yeah, I'm back with the Eagles, and as he does that, he loses the siege on the front, but I think it's better for him to shore up his eco than anything. I'm wondering if Gonzalo could maybe get out of here. Looks like he's trapped, and he's going to try and micro these Eagles down, Dave. Let's see. Got to hit and run like crazy in this spot.
Yeah, he's super trapped back here. And once you lose, 2 or 3 Cav Archers from your mass, it really starts to add up. You can't 2 or 3 shot the Eagles anymore.
Yep.
And that's when the Eagles start to win. So he's just going to go to the gold and snipe the villagers. I think that's the correct play. This army's dead regardless.
Yeah, I mean, getting a few certainly doesn't hurt. And Scorpions were there too, Dave. I think he gets more value than he would have otherwise been able to get, as he's got more Cav Archers running forward. They're everywhere. And he reacts and shoots the monk and is going to run away.
Good defense, though, from Senjata on those Cav Archers. I think he only lost like 4 or 5 villagers there. And he wiped up that entire initial army from Red. And now he's sitting on 3 TCs producing. Red is still on 1.
Gonzalo has 8 seconds of TC idle time in this game. Despite being 1 TC, 8 seconds of TC idle time. Senjata's got 4 minutes. It is going to even out, and you'd expect Senjata to get the Vil lead, but still a lot of Cav Archers out there. We might see rounds 2 here in a second. I think Gonzalo's tempted to run around this wood line, and it almost seems like Senjata senses that, Dave.
Hey, it seems like he does sense it. He's got 2 Scorpions over there. They're going to get some big shots.
Oh, those are great shots, too, for Scorpions. Passing through. Ballistic's about to complete, though, and this is what Huns can do against Castle Age Eagles. Of course, if this ever gets to Imp, Huns just get destroyed by Elite Eagle, but I feel like there's so much potential for Gonzalo to micro these Eagles down, and then suddenly there might not be any Eagles left.
And at the pace the game is going right now, I think Senjata would be more than happy to just keep these Cav Archers busy with his army, not push into red space, and just build his ego behind.
Yeah, probably. Could even justify a switch to skirmish, possibly. It's a little risky against Huns because they can go Knights, but I do see a second town center now for Gonzalo as he's attacking more Scorpions with Cav Archers and losing a few. This is the problem with Cav Archers. It's the good thing and the bad thing, but when you're hitting and running and the enemy's booming at home, oof. The problem is you can't really hit their economy too frequently, Dave, and you're just constantly defending yourself. Does it feel like these are players who live far apart that might be playing on a server with relatively high ping?
I haven't really gotten that impression. There's been a few moments, but I can't say anything definitive.
Okay. Yeah, also the Cav Archers just, they do seem to fire a little bit slow in general, so it's hard to say. Certainly the reaction times of the players and everything's good. I think it also looks kind of like stop micro from the Cav Archers instead of focus fire micro, which is interesting. Like, look, no quick wall on the TC. This player doesn't care. He's just going to send over his army to deal with it. Interesting approach.
Doesn't care. Cav Archers, no quick walls.
I'm telling you, man, this might be Doubt. This might be him. This might be the Lord. And what a sick comeback that was from him for whoever this was yesterday. You remember the interview with Viper after one of the Hidden Cups, and we were asking him who we thought people were, and he was just like, so-and-so was so Doubt. He's like, it was the most Doubt player I've ever seen, you know? Always remember that quote. 69 villagers versus 77. Military count's still really competitive. This is a close game, but I think it is going to get to a point where Senjata's going to be an imp faster, which is very dangerous for Gonzalo.
Yeah, credit to Pizarro. Like, he has added 3 TCs behind this while microing his Cav Archers. You can tell me whether it's bad micro or
yeah,
or not, but he has been focusing attention on them, and he's macroed behind this into 3 TCs. He's getting his farming eco up. The problem for him is going to be this forward position from Blue. He's going to be constantly defending from this, and Blue can just, you know, spiral this out of control into the Imperial Age.
The main thing here is the Scorpions. If he can get an answer to the Scorpions, the Cav Archers should own everything else, but there's 6 of them there. Something you wouldn't have seen a couple years ago, but people using this unit more and more and more. It's also cheaper than a Mangonel. But look at the confidence from Gonzalo to take out a few with some Cav Archers on that side, hold the hill on the left side. But you also see those resources rising for Senjata, Davey. It's got to be soon for Gonzalo if he wants a chance.
Yeah, full Eagle production. If at any point he cancels some Eagles, he can go up to the next stage.
Getting handcart too. Man, is that eco strong. And man, how good do you have to be constantly micro. And oh man, this is such a bad fight for Gonzalo. Brutal to see that, Dave. And now I see the resources rising and rising and rising for Senjata. There's still no answer to the Scorpions. I'm beginning to lose hope for Gonzalo Pizarro.
Red's win condition is military advantage, and he basically just lost it with that fight.
Yep.
And now there's, like, the Scorpion match just keeps building and building. There's 6 of them at the front there, and there's 2, like, different armies of Eagles that can run into raid. Good hits on the wood line there from Senjata.
Yep.
And still pressure at the front.
This is crazy pressure. It's not that Gonzalo's played poor here. It's been tough to do. The KD's looking good for Gonzalo. But the sheer amount of military from Senjata is just smothering Gonzalo. And to have the ability to macro behind it, Dave, and get 3 relics. 3 relics already collected. Brings some big, big names to my mind here. But Mangonel for Gonzalo here.
Look at the Eagle queue. What would NBL say in this situation? Go up to him! Go up!
Oh, God. Well, some of the Scorpions go down. The Mangonel helped. I'm just looking at these poor Cav Archers having to chase down Eagles, and I would not want to be one of them. They're constantly on the move. Wonder what the idle time looks like. Over an hour of idle time for Gonzalo, and there you go. Senjata up to Imp. We've got stonks in chat from viewers. Love it. So about 3 minutes until Senjata has an unkillable force. I'd say Dave Gonzalo needs to get more and more kills.
Okay, well, it's looking like nothing in red space is unkillable at this moment. Everything is dying. There's a raid on the left-hand side idling all those farms. Cav Archers are split. The Eagles are running right under the TC now, chasing, and just constant production behind this, and more villagers coming across the map for Senjata. He's thinking about an aggressive castle.
Wow, man. This pressure's insane. This pressure is just insane, and it went from 0 to 100 really quick. Is that for castle or is that for gold? Because there is gold. It
might be
there.
a TC. He doesn't have the stone in the bank now that I'm looking.
Yeah.
No, it's just for killing a bear, apparently.
Oh, there you go. He's going to take that gold. Let's look at Senjata's scouting. He could see a lot right now. And this is not the first time Gonzalo sent freaking villagers to take out Scorpions, man. Who would do that? I mean, it works, I suppose. But now he's behind heavily. And I think that this is such a lead for Senjata that we might see the GG called when Senjata hits him. Too many Eagles, too many Scorpions. Even if the Scorpion numbers go down, these will be elite pretty soon.
Yeah, as soon as you get that armor, the extra armor for the Eagles, the Cav Archers are really, really going to struggle against that. And the production queue has just remained consistent. Amazing pressure from Blue.
One of the best displays of Mesosivs that I've seen came from Senjata, I believe, in his first round. And now I'm seeing it again. I'm liking this player, Dave. I'm really liking this player's chances in this series, but never count out Gonzalo because Gonzalo was down 2 games and brought it back. And there's Imp. Okay, technically like 50 seconds now still where Gonzalo can take fights, and he'll try to do so. But with 30 on gold and 4 relics with Aztecs, Dave, I just don't see... Look at that conversion. I just don't see how Gonzalo has any chance.
Like, Senjata could just... He has 2 options. He could kill this army, or he could avoid this army, and either one of them is going to succeed.
Yep.
Like, you either go for the raids, or you kill the main force, and he could just pick and choose at this point.
Yeah, and he'll do just that. Are you surprised? Should we be surprised that Gonzalo's still playing? I mean, it is one of the biggest tournaments this game has had in such a long time.
Yeah, he hasn't done really any damage to Senjata's economy since that one Cav Archer raid. He has to be looking at the score. He has to be looking at the sheer number of eagles being produced right now and thinking, there's really no chance for me in this game.
There's your castle drop, Dave. It's going to come on the left side. That's a get out of my game castle. And these eagles are just in the eco everywhere. Gonzalo still not going to call it. Just going to sit back. But I expect that GG to come in. And then GG does come in. Man, did Senjata look good, Dave.
That was a full-on display from the Castle Age onwards of the power of the Aztecs right there. And that's the disadvantage in the Civ matchup that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like the Huns Cav Archer mass is scary, but if you don't get the opportunity to make any raids, and if you let the Aztec player have a forward position beside your base, it feels like an uphill battle the entire way.
I mean, Gonzalo, there were some weaknesses to his gameplay, but I think the weakness we saw from Gonzalo pretty much stemmed back to how good Senjata was able to play, Dave. The Scorpion edition was perfect. The KD was actually positive for Gonzalo for a long time. It was just non-stop pressure from Senjata. So impressive stuff, Dave, but we accepted that Hun's probably weaker than Aztecs here. And so something tells me that Gonzalo is going to have a draft which is suited for our upcoming maps. I'm going to skip past the statistics on that one, actually. And I want to spend a bit more time talking about the home maps, because for Gonzalo Pizarro, I think it's a player who's got a lot of prep in here and has Mudflow and Bypass, 2 new maps as home map picks.
Yeah, I think if we're looking at his civs, I mean, Indians are pretty good on Mudflow. And maybe Turks on Bypass here. And then we're looking over at Senjata, like, do you go for Franks on Mudflow? And then Malay on Bypass?
I think you go Franks on Mudflow. You go for Bypass. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me to see Mongols or Malay. No, Malay. Yeah, Malay would be good there. Senjata picked Malay on Bypass in the first round, I believe. And then maybe Vikings for Cup. And you've still got Persians out there. Yeah, I feel like the civilizations are pretty predictable there for Senjata. He seems to have a good draft for this. But Indians versus Franks, if that is indeed the case, and we'll hop into game 2 now, can be pretty good for Indians. But we've talked about this for years, Dave. It can still swing either way. Game 2, here we are. And in the blue, again, we've got Senjata. Senjata has gone for the Franks. It makes sense with the double berry bushes. And wait a second, they're talking 15 seconds into the game. Gonzalo says, yeah, if it's not working. What's not working? We missed the beginning of the conversation. What wasn't working? I don't know there. Maybe a hotkey issue, Dave. But yeah, Indians for Gonzalo in the north of the map. A civ I really like here when you've got villagers on fish.
Yeah, I mean, it gives your economy such an early boost. It's like kind of like the Mongol hunt, right?
Yep.
We saw that come into play earlier today on Bay. We're going to see something a bit similar here
All right.
on Mudflow. Now, did Senjata on his Mudflow game, he played Mudflow, right? Didn't he go Koreans?
I actually forget about Senjata, but I recall Senjata steamrolling. But I do remember that Gonzalo picked Koreans, and it didn't look good. So
Okay.
chose not to do that here in round 2. They'll probably learn some lessons there and instead went for an early Indians pick. And Daniel, pro player, says that he thought Pope Leo yesterday or the day before was ACCM who beat him in the qualifiers. Thank you, Daniel, for your insights. I'm loving how we're getting some high-level players chipping in here. But, Dave, there's a lot of food on this map. I expect to see a lot of scouts.
Yeah, I was talking with Daniel the other day, and he was saying he was under the impression that if ACCM won the tournament, he would actually get a portion of the prize pool.
Wait, he
for
said
being
that?
kicked out in the qualifier. Yeah, and then I told him I would talk to you about it, and then maybe he could give me a little cut on the side.
I'll tell you what. If ACCM wins the whole thing, I'll give you each $100. How's that sound?
It's
that
pretty
fair?
stingy.
I mean, I have to ask ACCM if I could take from his prize.
I'm down bad, Tristan.
Fine. No, I can't say. This is risky, man. You know this, chat. I've made so many bets, and I've had to pay up, man. I have a mustache because of bets. I have a bet currently out that if we hit 100,000 viewers at any point during this event, I'll be bald.
Crimea River.
All right, well, Senjata very close there, Dave, to running into the town center. That would be criminal, I think, to run into the TC on this map when you've got the lily pads around.
Yeah, you've got a whole warning zone letting you know that there's a TC there.
All right, they both place their lumber camps in the middle area. That is amphibious terrain. We've seen players go for docks in this map, and it would make sense to do so in some stages, Dave, but it still feels most natural to me to open with some type of standard land opening like scouts or man-at-arms, and with these civs, I'm thinking more so scouts.
It feels like natural to me to have some land presence, but I think water is more important than you realize here.
Maybe.
Because like the wood lines, players hate taking those little wood lines at the back.
Yeah.
And they're always going to go to that middle. And if you sneak one demo ship in there, it's going to do more damage than
any scouts could ever do.
Yeah, exactly. And you can use that for water control later if you go into like galleys.
Certain controller player is really good with using demos, so you can see why you're excited about that. But from what I've seen, players who open up with water control, they actually struggle economically, Dave, because it's not like a water map where you open up with water to protect your eco with fish. So if you go for galleys and the enemy just makes a tower to defend their woodline, and we do see a dock for Gonzalo, then you might not have anything to protect your berries and your farms, which will be very exposed. So it's just, I'm with you though. I don't think that the meta is really established, and we've seen players have success with so many different things on this map. So it's cool to see it picked so frequently.
I really like watching the galley play on this map. Once you get like 5 or 6 galleys, it seems like such an unstoppable force until Castle Age.
Dude,
so we'll see what Red
Gonzalo
decides to open up with.
Gonzalo didn't have his second building to go up to Feudal Age because Gonzalo skipped the mill, so made a dock, which might have been part of the plan anyways, but pulled 3 villagers to scramble down the dock. So you'll notice the uptime difference is going to be pretty extreme here.
This was his home map.
I know.
You think he'd have that locked down, and he's going for a barracks in the middle too.
Well, I mean, the resources are going to look good. I kind of like the way the walls are looking here. If they get down, it's hard to tower the wood lines. Do we see a dock on the other side? We don't. We just see a barracks, and we're about to see a stable for Senjata, but Senjata doesn't have the wood, Dave. There he does. Okay.
Why is everyone calling this a duck map?
People, okay, so you know how viewers like to call the map something other than what we named it. The first version that I showed in the map video did, if you were high on 6 different substances, look like a duck. So at that time, people started calling it a duck map, but it doesn't always look like that. So I
it looks
know.
like a creepy smiley face to me right now.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is what it is at this point. I've accepted this is my life, and here comes Senjata, and he's going to punish the late uptime and the lack of military from Gonzalo and place a tower here.
Yeah, and that's a great tower there. I don't think Pizarro can see that at all, so he's going to be cut off that wood line. Fortunately for him, he can just shift over to the other one.
Yeah.
But like you said, that missing that second building has delayed him so much, and now all the momentum is with Senjata here.
And he's going to need to scramble scouts and spears to protect his berries, because pretty soon he's going to be finished with that water buffalo, and he'll need to go elsewhere. You can see Senjata's on the prowl right now.
Yeah, no food income whatsoever for him.
Dude, I'm getting flashbacks to Gonzalo Pizarro game 1 and game 2 against Pope Leo, and then somehow Gonzalo turned it up a notch and came back. But I think against any player in this tournament, you lose 2 games because of sloppy mistakes like this, you can't expect to be able to reverse sweep it again, you know?
He's not on gold either. Like, so he can't even make any extra water units if he wants to.
Yep, these scouts very weak here, Dave. They're getting chased down. Other scouts still full HP for Senjata, so pretty much in every single way, except for getting pop-capped here in a second for Senjata, which I think will happen, and he hasn't realized. I prefer Senjata's position, and yeah, there's the house. Here you've got a spearman getting battered down, and here you've got scouts chasing. Very messy map, Dave. It's not easy to play, though.
No, especially any map with this amphibious terrain, especially when it's like in the middle, holding important resources, just gets so messy so quickly. And Blue sending those villagers back. He's done his work. He walled in the tower, Tristan. A lot of players don't do that, although they should.
Yeah, they definitely should. And now we see a defensive tower, which I guess makes sense when there's a galley out. Though I guess he's worried about multiple galleys, and that will not be the case. Where's the galley going? Okay. Galley should survive. I think it should make its way to a spearman or something.
It's still getting hit by the scouts, running away now, but that is his only water pressure, literally.
Yeah. You know, it's maybe not seen as harsh because we don't actually know who the player is. But another series where I'm looking at Gonzalo saying, is he unprepared or just not playing good at all? Not a single eco upgrade, Dave. And now you could see this galley go down anyways and just completely outclassed by Senjata.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so he made the dock, he made the stable. He wasn't on food early for scouts.
Yep.
And he wasn't on gold early for naval pressure. So like what's the plan here on your home map? You're just going to bank on the Indian fishing bonus, get a few scouts out and hope you do some good damage initially?
That villager was not clicked all the way back to the TC, probably would have died anyways and goes down. That's actually the first eco kill in the game though, which is pretty crazy. And because Gonzalo only had 14 seconds of TC idle time and Senjata had a minute, Gonzalo has the villager lead. So this game is just so complicated, and it could swing at any time on this map as we see spears, galleys, and now scouts in the middle for Gonzalo. And Gonzalo says right back at you.
Yeah, but the spearman there from Senjata just on time is going to push those away. Farming eco going up for Senjata as well, and a defensive tower. Interesting placement.
Senjata now losing some scout HP and losing some scouts. There are a lot of spearmen on the field. There's 7 spearmen, Dave, from Gonzalo as he shows up to the wood line, which is towered, and now Gonzalo backs away. Getting a horse collar now before he invests into farms, which makes sense. And more scouts going down to spearmen. Honestly, just stop making scouts, guys. Just go into archers at this point.
I think there's an opportunity here for Pizarro. If he masses galleys here and keeps them alive, there's definitely an opportunity since Senjata does not have a dock yet. Although he needs to stop losing his galley numbers for free.
Wouldn't say Gonzalo's best trait is his micro. Let's just put it that way. At least based on what we've seen so far in the 2 games. Lots of patrolling, a few splits here or there, but nothing too wild. But now you've got the galley micro here, Dave, and I'm with you. I think Senjata should add a dock. Maybe go for some fire ships. That would be a really good addition. What about another tower? Is this where Senjata grows confident to send villagers to tower that woodline again? Because he thought about it.
I don't know if you can, because you've seen the galley production. I don't think it's worth the risk. And I think if you make a dock, he's going for another defensive tower on his woodline. So he assumes that red is going to keep producing navy and hit that woodline. I think if you go for a dock, it accomplishes the same thing as the tower. Like if you could sneak a demo in there, or if you can make some fire ships, you can still pressure that woodline.
Okay. I think in many ways, it's so easy for us, having never played this map, well, you know, played this map a lot anyways, to forget how complicated it is, right? It is just so messy. Barracks, house, tower, house in the middle with a galley. It's just random. And you actually see Gonzalo's macro Taking him to the Castle H first in just a second here. Dave missing 3 food, which is really annoying. And you should see Castle H.
I'm just surprised that he clicked up first.
Yeah.
I really am, because he was so laid out to food. He was so laid out to gold. And just now adding farms.
Well,
really good macro from him.
But he's taken a lot of his berries, which of course Senjata has done as well. But he also produced fewer scouts. And Indian villagers are cheaper, which is a huge help here.
Mm-hmm.
Micro here from Senjata. So good, actually. And make sure that he clears out 2 scouts. I see Bloodlines on the way now for Gonzalo. So I think Gonzalo is going to go for Camels, which makes amazing sense to get up against Frank Knights.
Yeah, and Senjata is going to be clicking up to the Castle Age soon. Is a villager deficit, but Senjata does have Wheelbarrow.
Okay. Interesting to point that out. Okay. Yeah, Wheelbarrow can really help, especially when... I mean, right now it looks fine for 2 mills, but when you have to start to expand your farms elsewhere and it can't be around the TC, Wheelbarrow definitely does help here as we see a scout finding a weak villager on the wood line. That is such a small little detail for Senjata to see. And finds reward, Dave. Villager down.
Yeah, villager down. The galley's really struggling to defend this position the entire game.
It can't even get over there. It has to go all the way around. These woodlines are a little weird from time to time. And if he doesn't get water upgrades, nothing's stopping Knights from taking out the galleys too. All right, Dave. Well, I'm really liking this now. For a while, it looked unconvincing, but Gonzalo's made it happen despite the rather passive opening. And I could see this turn into a very boomy game with both civs having great economies. And immediate TC in the middle? Wow, dude, that is awkward. There's so much space on the right, but I guess he doesn't have military over there. TC there, that seems like an easy target for Senjata.
Yeah, and especially since Senjata is now teching into a navy again. He made 2 docks. I'm not sure if Gonzalo saw that. No, Gonzalo can't see that dock by 1 tile.
You're kidding.
Crazy.
Come on, Age of Empires. How is that a thing? How can he not see that? Oh, jeez.
And, you know, Indians are good on this map, but it is also unfortunate for Pizarro that he can't make knights. He's going to pick off a few villagers on the left-hand side there.
Yep.
You see one went down already and might get this woman as well, but feels like knights are such a better raiding unit than camels in this situation.
I would definitely agree with you. However, I think he'll be grateful that he got all 3 kills there. And I like how quick he was to try and hit the side. You've got defensive spearmen, but they're being microed. And noticing Pizarro, there's a trend here. He seems like a classic player who probably loves his eco. So getting an early lead in Castle Age, like he wasn't able to do in the previous game, is huge. And he's still got camels on the stone, Dave.
Yeah, here I am saying they're not a great raiding unit. Already taken down 2 villagers. They're going to kill a 3rd here. They took down the spearmen.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was pretty big there. Is currently preoccupied elsewhere. But the camel runs away. And he was able to defend as well. So you look at the overall KD, it's 18-4. I do worry, though, for that middle TC. That middle TC is really suspect right now.
Yeah, and the War Galley tech is in for Senjata. So he's got fire ships, which are really strong in this situation. Still only 1 dock for Pizarro and no counter navy coming out yet. He does have monks, though, which could be pretty good against this. And whoa, that's a big castle.
Castle right in front. Can you get around there with the fire galleys? There's a 1-tile gap of water, but if your villagers are building the castle, can you path around, Dave? No, the tree! The tree's blocking it! Oh my god!
Oh god.
He can't path around! It's a great idea to build the castle, but he needed to get his fires in there first, and oh no! And now he chops the tree and palisades it, so now his navy can probably go around. Do you commit to this, though? Because it feels like maybe, as the pathing is so weird here,
I think fire ships, there's no fletching. There's no bodkin. Fire ships are so tanky that you can just sit here with these fire ships. TC fire will hit them. Watchtower fire, the camels, and they'll still survive.
I think I would have sent a few more vills here. But then again, I'm not as good as Senjata. That is at 85%. It feels like it will go up, Dave. A little wasteful, though, and the vill count, big difference between it right now. But when a castle goes up, Gonzalo's TC is pretty useless, and there's villagers in there right now. So Crazy moment there. That was so... I mean, that one tree changed things so much, and now Gonzalo has 55 villagers, and it's only 36 for Senjata.
Yeah, that tree was kind of hidden there, too. It was tough to see. It was the miniature bamboo.
Yep.
You know, shrubbery, bamboo, everything. They're just causing problems today.
Talking a lot about shrubbery here, Dave. Look at these villagers. This is the problem when you had this TC with farms around it even. Your villagers have to find new places to work. Got monks. I say monks. There's really only one monk, Dave. I feel like Gonzalo Pizarro is in a fine position as long as he can get control of the middle again.
Gonzaro?
Gonzaro. I don't know, man. Too much coffee this morning or something.
Sounds like a Mexican wrestler from like the WWE or something.
Oh, man. Well, there's some conversions and lots of monks for Gonzalo Pizarro. And you can use that against the fire ships, too. And that's exactly what Gonzalo's doing. And I don't know if that was deleted or killed, but... Dave, I think the reaction from Gonzalo Pizarro was perfect. Go to stone, so you can then get over to the right side as you see a TC there and just drop a castle. Because the only way I see Senjata winning this now is if he consistently denies the wood in the middle areas.
It's going to be really tough for Red to hold this middle position if he wants to, so I agree with you.
But
he's TCing the right side, so he's getting another foothold in the middle.
His farming eco's decent. It's not great, but it's also not great for Senjata because there's such a crazy control over wood lines. But the cheap castles are huge, and actually scouts went in there. Feel like they maybe killed one monk there, Dave. But the TC's down. This is where I'd start making some demos, truthfully.
Yeah, just hope to trickle him into that wood line. You already have the upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he might not realize how far behind he is in villagers, though. If you look at the score, it makes you think maybe you're 5 or 10 villagers behind. That should be a conversion, right? Okay, conversion comes in, monk goes down. Say that's kind of fine for both of them. There are pikemen in defense here, Dave, and pikemen pretty good against camels, so Gonzalo still needs to be careful.
And Senjata hasn't scouted that any of the positions on the right-hand side at all. Like,
wow.
Pizarro is dropping a second TC over there. He's going to secure that whole right-hand side, and Senjata's not going to have a clue about it.
Camel's taking out some ships here. This leads to some micro now, and the camels run into the castle fire. But never mind, the castle's prioritizing the barracks, which I imagine is just a DE thing, because there's no way you'd ever right-click a barracks to take it down, but I could be wrong. I thought that bug was fixed. Just Gonzalo buying so much time to get his eco right, Dave. We still have not seen a solid attack from Senjata on Gonzalo's economy. It's 78 villagers versus 54.
Yeah, now with all the TCs on the map, it feels really tough if Senjata wants to go for those raids or maybe switch into knights or something like that. It feels like there's not many opportunities for him to hit villagers. I say that, though, and here he comes with the fire ships.
Imagine if there were demos and the monks get focused down and there's no reaction from Gonzalo. Gonzalo, get out of here. What? He's fighting back.
I don't know if that's the play.
Well,
maybe.
The villagers disagree here, Dave. The villagers disagree. And he's made a galley now. So he wants to probably prioritize water and go into war galleys. Now, that was a bit confusing. You might be thinking, how does he have a fire ship and just have a galley?
Oh, my God! Okay, the right side.
No, you know what?
Just killed
Dave,
like 7. We'll rewind to it.
Yeah,
with
you're going to...
Casper.
No, I'm going to do it now. You're going to have to sync up with me again. All right? I just need you to say exactly what you said in the way you said it. You ready? Here we go. Great job. And we're back in business, Dave. So, villagers down. Castle should go up for Senjata. That could be denied. And maybe that's why he fought with the villagers, Dave, because he was so distracted. I don't know what to think.
I can't recreate that. That was a genuine reaction. I'm sorry, Chad. We're not completely synced. Like, I can't do it. It's not going to work.
No, I wasn't expecting you to be able to. Gonzalo is not going to get that castle up, Dave.
Yeah, and another big demo shot actually on those water farms from Pizarro. Senjata getting some massive villager kills here. And, you know, it kind of puts the momentum, maybe shifts it around a little bit here.
Dude, I'm just thinking, has there not been so much time for Gonzalo? And yeah, there's the demo. Sorry, I was a little bit behind because I rewound, but has there not been so much time for Gonzalo to secure the right side? It still hasn't happened. We didn't see that switch onto water. Like, I just feel as though Gonzalo should get this win with that Vil lead, but Senjata's not going away quietly.
And another castle attempt here coming from Pizarro.
I'm completely lost my train of thought here after that demo shot, Dave. I guess I got to speed up. There you go. Yeah, we're closer now, Dave. My bad. I wanted to show the viewers that in somewhat real time. And that's a one villager castle? When there's, you know what happened a second ago? You're going to do this?
Yeah, he sent some more forward for it. But, oh, here comes blue villagers.
Oh my, it's a repeat of the previous situation, except it's so much more embarrassing. The first one was understandable, Dave. But this one, you've got nothing here. He doesn't even have the upgrade on water yet. And that one is another doubt castle, another denied castle, and another very aggressive forward castle for Senjata.
Yeah, and you talked about the right-hand side, his failure to secure it. Imagine if he started out with that castle position.
Yeah.
He'd be in such a better position right now.
I know. 98 villagers for 76, but I want to check the idle time. It's actually pretty high for both, honestly. So this is just hectic all around. And it's not like the farming eco isn't insane for Gonzalo. He's got almost 40 on food. But okay, now, will he get this castle up? This is round 3.
Round 3, but are you running out of rounds? That's my question.
Oh, God. I mean, the pikeman could honestly deny that, Dave. This could be denied again, but at least this time, he's chosen a few more villagers.
I can't get over that demo hit. That's like 2 in Hidden Cup so far that have denied a castle.
Yeah, and important castles, too. And look at Senjata. How? Don't ask me, because I can't explain it. This game's been ridiculous, and Senjata has been macroing his way towards the Imperial Age. And now he knows, I just make trebs out of these castles. I can push this middle position. The left side also is so exposed for Gonzalo. Gonzalo's in big troubles.
A knight heading towards that gold. He scouted the gold with the monk. He knows that Gonzalo is super exposed on the left-hand side, made 1 knight.
Dude, I've been trying to hold back my guesses a little bit more today because we guessed so frequently in the previous days.
Yep.
This feels to me, the map control feels like either Yo or Viper from Senjata. Not sure which one, but the awareness and the style and the skill in the messy games, I'm leaning more towards Yo, but it's a big name, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, Pizarro's trying to find some places to hit. He's made quite a few war galleys, got some on the right-hand side and also some in the middle. But like you said, the control from Senjata, the castle placements, TC, whatever, it's going to be really difficult for Pizarro to find angles.
Yep. All right, you do have to wonder if maybe there's a chance for Gonzalo with all those villagers, 114 villagers. If he even goes into, which he's teching into now, Dave, light cav, and just raids, there are a lot of exposed resources for both players. Raiding is not something we've seen on lands too frequently in the Castle Age. Great engagement here for Senjata, though. Gonzalo has just seemed all out of sorts on this amphibious terrain. It's been horrible.
Yeah, the land eco behind and like the camel production, everything, it's been there. It's just any water battle he gets involved in, he seems to lose.
Cav archers now with Indians, Dave. You're beginning to remember a game we were, I think we casted it together in another tournament recently. Oh man.
Yo, that's a big boy castle foundation from Senjata that I saw. Okay, I think. Where are the villagers coming from? Oh, they're coming all the way from the right-hand side.
The other side, Dave. Gonzalo may be looking for an answer to pikemen and mixed in some cav archers, but it's just one range there.
Tristan, cheap Frank castles. There's another one going down on the left.
They're everywhere. No, I actually canceled the other foundation.
He replaced it.
Yeah.
Okay, smart.
Now,
maybe he saw the flags on the docks and was like,
let's not do that.
Don't want to get demoed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Dave, most of the extra stone, or all of the extra stone on this map, is actually in the middle. So as you see a stable on the right side for Gonzalo to potentially raid, having control of the middle with Franks is huge because of that stone.
This is bad. Gonzalo is housed. and he's trying to defend the castle on the right. He's trying to get Trebs of his own out to do the Treb War thing. And he's trying to produce Light Cav to help out, but he was housed badly there, so it's going to delay him.
Dave, there's just no way he ever takes out those Trebs. He doesn't have the mass of anything. And look at the reaction from Sanjata. Immediately reacts to one Light Cav and just goes to the woodline. This player's insane. Absolutely insane. Fast fire ship, feels like half a dozen castles. Cavalier's now on the way, and at one point...
Once again.
I'm speechless, Dave. This is incredible.
Yep. Shaky start for Gonzalo. Then he brought his way back. We were thinking like Sanjata might be out of this game, and then suddenly overextension maybe from Bizarro in the middle, and Sanjata just takes that and runs with it.
The food eco still, the food and gold eco is still really good for Gonzalo, but I don't think the food eco lasts too long on this map if you run out of wood, because then your farms start to expire. So he really does not, with the exception of this one area, Dave, which he could lose, have any wood control.
I do like the fact he's continuing to expand on the southeast with some stables. So maybe if he gets those villagers in the back, he can raid the farming eco even more from Sanjata. That is the one exposed area from him. His food economy is like high potential for raids.
Yeah. Wondering what the comp's going to be. Not seeing too many Cav Archer upgrades. It just seems like Light Cav right now. Maybe just Hussar raids. I mean, there's a few players that come to mind when you think Hussar raids. It's not like Gonzalo hasn't been able to get some Vil kills in this game. He's about to get 20. But I'm just looking...
The TC that's researching a handcart is about to get Treb down before handcart's completed.
Handcart. All right. All right, it goes down, Dave. Handcart is in at least. Trebs will just take out the lumber camps. Maybe wait a second to rebuild that one. And immediate repairs from Sanjata as he's trying to mine that stone. He's going to try and keep this Treb alive. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
That stays alive?
Just the reaction is what I'm surprised by, Dave. Immediate reaction to keep the Trebs alive.
Well, the other one might go down.
Now he's coming in with demos, Dave, and I'm not going to miss this one. He'll go right into that juicy wood line. And the first one kills one, of course, because that's just how things go as a caster. But the next one is going the other way. All right, great. Fantastic action here.
Saving itself. It's saving itself for a big woodline boom.
There you go. And Dave, I continue to be surprised by the population. It's honestly just the fact that Gonzalo has so many Vils. It doesn't feel like Gonzalo has 20 more pop on the map.
Yeah, and Gonzalo's even adding stables, adding archer ranges, adding everything, and just making use of these tiny little wood lines in the back, because he's going to be completely cut off from the middle pretty soon here.
Yeah, another castle. I would say that Sanjata maybe needs a little more here. He's only got a few fire ships, but they are fast fires. He's going to drop a castle there, and that will have denied every single wood line in the middle. Here come the Light Cav, and they're finally going to make a run into the farming eco of Sanjata. So now Sanjata... got to react there, but does have pikemen, Dave. It's just not so easy when the maps are so exposed to keep track of everything.
Yeah, I really like that castle from Sanjata on the right hand side. That's just completely, that kicks him off the middle wood for so long.
Yeah. Do you think maybe you need a castle or two in the sides of your land base of your Sanjata? Because that could be, well, I guess if you have the stone, a good idea.
Yeah, I think he's already got pikemen. If he manages to tech into Halb, should be fine against the raids, but look at the production queue from Gonzalo.
Dave,
holy.
The Cavalier, though. If the Cavalier find the northern farm space, there's nothing. There's about 50 farmers back here with no protection. And some of the Cavalier, they actually looped over to the other side. I guess Sanjata really wants to keep the castle up, Dave.
Yeah, kill the Trebs.
And if he gets them, oh man, well calculated. The castle does stay up. Is ridiculous. Hussar in though for Gonzalo. He's not going to give it up, Dave, with 52 on food.
Okay. Cavalier are going to the north. It's only 3 of them, Tristan. But how much damage can these things do if they find that exposed farming eco?
Not sure where the stone count came from, but Gonzalo's building a castle between farms, so that tells you that he's aware. And yeah, maybe not totally to the north, but farmers going down. And then you do also have farmers going down in Sanjata's base, but he's got pikemen there. The difference is Sanjata always has had an answer in this game, Dave. Gonzalo sometimes just lacking one.
Yeah, defensive castle up there from Gonzalo, so not as exposed anymore, and still pushing in on the bottom side.
It's pretty insane, dude. 150 population for Sanjata, 160 population for Gonzalo. He does have wood around the outer ring, so if he continues to relocate lumberjacks, it's not the end of the world.
And I think he's winning the Treb War. Gonzalo, is he going to manage to take out that castle in the middle? Maybe get back onto that wood again?
Could maybe do it, Dave. Maybe. He's also mixing in cav archers. He's getting bracer. I mean, it's 37 military versus 37 military. And economically, after all these kills that Senjata has dished out, it's more so even. Yeah.
This is a crazy
Look
game.
at the hussars from Gonzalo. He's not dead, Dave. He's going to continue to fight. He's finding the farms now. What a game.
And at the same time, Senjata is still pushing in on the north. Like, that TC is going to go down. Gonzalo pulls the villagers. He's going to try and rush the trebuchet.
Dude, I don't even know where to look right now. There's so much action. Yeah, here's the villagers. There's so much action. Villagers take out a Treb. Cavalier are taking out Trebs at the same time. Villagers are dying. The Treb's being repaired. Can that be saved? There's no way that's saved, right? There's no way. Nah, it goes down. What in the world, dude? Is a villager being
converted in the right corner of Pizarro's economy? Maybe he builds something with that. Who knows?
Probably immediate.
Hussar's still running around, and that castle went down on the right-hand side of the swamp.
Dave, immediate reaction. Oh, I got a Vil now? All right. Here goes the stables. And look at these cav archers in the middle now for Gonzalo. Cav archers could honestly be sick, and he's getting chemistry.
Demos, maybe? Potentially?
Potentially. I mean, we've seen it once or twice before. I am really struggling to know where to look right now, but I'll tell you this much. Based on the numbers we see on our screens, it is better for Gonzalo, if you ask me. He's got more gold income, more food income. Those are the things you're really going to want here, and that's why he maybe prioritized the outer ring, Dave. There's so much gold out there. It's the wood that's still a problem for him, and Senjata, knowing that, runs in with Cavalier now. This might be one of the best games we've seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, this is crazy. And now Pizarro's going to find those stables in the right corner. He's looking for gold with those villagers.
Well, they're like, Angela? What are you doing? I thought we were friends. And uh-oh. Not another one. That monk's the real MVP. There'll be 2 villagers to build here, Dave. As the cav archers, they're going to run into the back part of this eco. And remember, it was just halberdier defense for Senjata. So he's going to need Cavalier now, I think, to take out the cav archers, because the halbs will go down to the CA.
Yeah, cav archers, full attack upgrades. Don't have the armor yet, though. But there's still going to be a deadly ball, and he's going to have to build up maybe 10, 15 Cavalier to take those down.
If you just look at the outer ring right now and think about the control, I'd say Gonzalo has about 60 to 70% of the control in the outer ring. And in particular, the gold is the biggest problem for Senjata. I'm not seeing him mining a lot of gold, Dave. And if you can't mine gold, then how do you deal with cav archers? How do you deal with everything that's going to come your way? As we see a fight that I think Senjata really needs to trade well in, as the cav archers will just leave this area.
The only gold he has is left corner of the map, basically.
Yeah,
he's going to have to retake. Yeah, he's got the stuff on the right, but...
being raided constantly, Dave. And 60 on food for Gonzalo. Still has 10 on gold. And oh my god, the TC with the 1 villager gets denied by the cav archers. These players are too good, man. These players are too good. What a moment.
I love the fact that Senjata is constantly replacing his villagers here too.
Yeah.
A lot of players would fall behind. They go down to like 70, 80 villagers from all these constant raids and then realize they need to replace their economy, but he's constantly got TCs producing.
All right, well, fires in the middle, again, hitting the wood line. Then the villagers back away to the castle, so great reactions all around. Can't say the cav archers should be there, so maybe not great reactions all around, but the villagers were protected at least. Hussars might trade reasonably well versus fire ships. We don't see that too frequently, and now you've got Cavaliers still, Dave, and then you've got Halberdiers even raiding farms. Do you think that maybe Senjata's got to start making some units out of the stable that do not cost gold, though? Like Cav feels reasonable.
He's got to figure out what trash units to tech into. He's already got Halberdier, but like Cav, I agree with you, and he's getting it right now.
Okay.
Does sound very reasonable. And then he's got to start thinking, how do I get some gold control? Is there any gold left on the map? And how do I get it?
I think that he should expand his farming eco to the middle more, too. He's doing that, but that's that's an area Gonzalo doesn't have any presence. And if he tries to run in as he's doing now, he's going to run underneath castles. So Yeah, Gonzalo sees it, as I say that, Dave, and pressures it. This is sick.
This is a big push from Gonzalo. Look at the Cav Archer numbers. He's got 2 Trebs behind this. And Senjata, I mean, the thing that Senjata can do against this is probably build up like 5 or 6 demo ships, and you can take out that army.
Yeah, regular demos at this stage not going to be quite as strong, and it's a bit of a gamble when you don't have gold. And you see Senjata running over here with Cav. He wants to take out those Trebs, Dave. But that's too many Cav Archers to take out those Trebs, I think. With just 4 Cavalier, that castle's going to go down here. And this is as Cavalier is still raiding farms. The TC's not up on the right side, but raiding's coming in on that right side.
Castle foundation there, and Red hasn't noticed the villagers are building that.
He patrolled, Dave, which is perfectly reasonable. Can he notice this? This is huge.
He sees it.
Is it a doubt castle? Buy doubt on somebody else? Oh my god, you're kidding me. The castle goes up. How important is that going to be? Is there some light at the end of the tunnel here for Senjata can maybe get some gold? If the roles were reversed, and that was Gonzalo Pizarro, that castle would have been at 99%. That's all I'm saying. I won't say anything else. A little unlucky there.
You know, I didn't watch that cup game, the full cup game yesterday that went almost 2 hours. So because I didn't watch that, I'm going to say this is the game of the tournament so far for me. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think that they're both going to be in that conversation. The games were so good, Dave. Right now, Senjata just needs a lot of gold units to engage these Trebs. If he can get enough Cavalier to take out the Trebs, he'll be feeling good. The gold count's not even that high for Gonzalo at this point because they might run out of gold, and then it's just a wood game, I guess. Oh, Halberdiers, though, Dave. That's a lot of Halberdiers from Senjata.
Yeah, if Red doesn't notice in time, they could potentially do some damage. We see light cav raids continuing to go into the back of Pizarro's base as well.
Yep.
Halb's attacking the Treb. Ooh, you gotta attack the Cav Archers there, I think.
Takes out 1 Treb to buy himself some time, but he also needs to buy himself some stone so he can continue to repair that. Maybe he's hoping that the reinforcements in a second will take out the next Treb, Dave. But yeah, there are the light cav in the back. And now the wood upgrade! Nikov from Senjata! I think he's fine. He's had control of the wood. He didn't need to get that wood upgrade, whatever.
He made he made 2 siege workshops, and he's going into battering rams now, too.
Where? on the left? Okay.
On the north, yeah.
Dave, Vills have just gone down everywhere in this game. And is Senjata just going to give up on this castle? That's a surprise to me. He has some gold floating to maybe buy some stone.
Remember my prediction last night when my heart didn't want MBL to be Master of Templar?
Yep.
And I wanted MBL to be Senjata so that he was still in the tournament. What player can survive anything?
Yeah. I think the best,
MBL.
The top 2 post-imp players in the game, I mean, with no particular order, would probably be Yo and MBL. Now, granted, that's in messy situations. I think if it's in clean situations, some other names start to come to mind. And those are names that many might say in chat right now. But, you know, it's certainly, like, I think the feel around the community right now is everyone feels like they had MBL guessed correctly. And we are assuming an awful lot here, Davis. We see heavy demo research for Senjata. Imagine heavy demos on those Cav Archers.
Yeah, you get some real good hits. And with heavy demo, I don't know if the Cav Archers can take them out in one shot. I think it'd take a couple.
I'm so scared for Gonzalo. I'm so scared for Gonzalo, man. Oh, my word. But isn't it sick how Gonzalo's got back on wood now all of a sudden? And Senjata's back on gold. I mean, the players... This has been a treat to watch.
Yeah, the Cav Archers are getting close now, Tristan. They're getting real close.
Does he see the docks? He doesn't see the docks or garrisoned, actually. Or maybe he did. And he could just run away from the water. That's the easy thing to do.
The thing is, you gotta hit him while they're still on the water. Now those Cav Archers are getting awfully close to the land. The demos are on the hunt.
Demos are on the hunt. Cav Archers are just gonna... I think he noticed that because the Treb went down, and they're just gonna stay over here now. But I'm not sure that's where you really want your Cav Archers, though. I guess that's the problem. Left side, Dave, we have yet to see the Rams really push in, but they might soon. And we still have consistent light Cav rating from Senjata. And he's even producing out of the stables on the right side, denying that town center. Disgusting.
The Halberdiers are chasing those Cav Archers, and they can't really sit there. They might have to go back into the water, at which point Senjata could demo them, but he doesn't have any in the queue. Oh, no.
Oh, man, dude. None in the queue, but I think that a lot of them went down anyways. There's a lot of bodies there. The TC was completely denied, Dave. And you now see the population starting to swing. This is when Senjata mixes in a Treb on the left side, too. I think the game might end shortly.
He's going to kill the Cav Archers here, too. Fully surrounded.
Yeah, it's just incredible game. Because Gonzalo was so far ahead. And sure, there's a few moments you might think he could have done better. But he did better to come back into it. And then
There's another demo.
See the demo, Dave. Would that be the game-ending blow? Demo after Cav Archers, and Gonzalo does see it, Dave, and shoots them. And not so good there. But that's not the biggest deal. The biggest deal is that Senjata has found another castle to deny. This castle on the other side is going to get trebbed down. What insanity are we witnessing? I don't know what to think about these players.
Now the farming eco is shifting into the middle for Senjata. He's finally started to take that middle area, claim it as his own once again. And the Cav Archer mass for Pizarro that we were so afraid of is now effectively gone.
Imagine how disheartening this would be for you, you know? Like, Gonzalo was in such a good position here. And you see GGT, GG. That's not going to add some drama to this at all. And the GG from Senjata, and the score is 2-0. And Dave, one of the best games we've seen. Who in the world are these players?
That was an insane performance from both. I mean, there was points in that game where we thought it was thoroughly in favor of each of those players. So that's what you want to see. If you're signing up for Hidden Cup 4, I hope we get another game like that next.
Oh, my word, dude. Like, I mean, Gonzalo showed he was a little rusty at some stages of that game, Dave. But he also showed that his macro can keep him in it. And the expansion, like, I felt like losing the Woodlines would lose him the game despite the build difference. But the ability to expand and get the farm numbers out was beautiful. By the way, salutes to Krazini, who did most of the work on this map, by the way, because it shows it's a perfect map. Because you can have the outer ring and have some success. Senjata, if he wouldn't have got some of these gold piles, might not have been able to do much more at one stage of this game. My goodness, man. You look at the total resources collected, and it was Gonzalo with more wood, more food, and more stone, but Senjata had the gold. I'm actually rather surprised by some of those statistics there, Dave. Senjata having the relics, though, I think made a big difference. That was 3,000 relic gold, not a single relic collected by Pizarro. You can see the total military units, the kills and losses. The conversions. By the way, I think this is hilarious on the stat sheet where it says desertions for a unit that's been converted, as if they chose to desert and go to the other side. I had a good chuckle with Capture Age about that one. 99% exploring from both, Dave. What a treat.
Wow, what a game there. And I think the Frank Castles, the cheap Frank Castles really, really helped out Senjata there.
Yeah.
Like more stone collected for Pizarro. But Senjata was able to replace his castles that went down easier. And castles were a huge deal controlling that map.
It was just, the simplest thing for Gonzalo is don't go too aggressive with your castles. There's 2 castles that failed. If he would have chose the first spot, like you said, he would have been fine. He would have had wood lines. He would have gone further into this game and maybe won it. And the best players, the players who are absolute cockroaches, the ones who can stay alive, you can't give them opportunities. You can't give them hope. And that's exactly what Gonzalo did. Gonzalo, God. Fine, we're sticking with it. That's exactly what Gonzalo did against Senjata there, Dave. And now we go to a very, very fun map in Bypass in a bit for that next game.
Yeah, and you have to think for Bypass. Like, you're looking at the civs for Senjata. We saw Malay earlier, and it seems like a pretty good civ pick. And we also saw the Turks in an earlier round.
Yeah. Well, in that round, when Gonzalo picked Turks on Bypass, he was down 2-0. He came back to win 3-2. So of all the players to be down 2 games, Gonzalo is the one that makes you think it is possible. Thank you, Croco, for 50 gifted subs. Thank you to all the Twitch primes. The total prize pool number, I don't know if that's updated yet. It'll update in a few seconds. That might hit 81,000 because of your support. Appreciate everybody. There's people coming in who are new here, people who've been here for years and years and years. It's crazy how many people are interested in this tournament and how many people are guessing, Dave. But I don't want to make people wait too long. I want to hop in. Game number 3, Senjata versus Gonzalo Pizarro. And for this, Dave, as we expected, some arena-esque civilizations, but it will be a very non-arena map if Capture Rage wants to cooperate, and I'm sure it will. And yeah, here we go. Perfect. All right, so I'm actually sped up on the back end here, Dave. We're looking at 35 seconds in. And Senjata, again, in the blue, playing as the Malay. And Turks in the red. And for anyone who's new, Dave explained why Turks is a little bit uncommon for competitive tournaments.
Well, usually you want to go with a Civ that has a effective eco bonus. Turks only getting the mining gold faster, so maybe they don't feel like the greatest option. Also, they have limited trash units. They only spearmen, only non-elite skirmishers. But if you do have gold with Turks, you can make stuff happen, especially with a faster Imperial. If you're focusing your push in one area, it could be a very strong option.
Could be wrong, because there's been a lot of games, but I believe both of these civs have a 100% win rate. Turks being used once on this map and winning, Malay being used once on this map and winning against Portuguese, and Malay also being used on islands once. Maybe twice, though, and I don't forget that. I don't remember that game. Now, the map is very similar to Hideout, and on Hideout, you don't have this opening in the middle or this bypass in the middle, and so that tends to be a fast castle all the time, Dave. But I feel like sometimes players are a little too comfortable behind their palisade walls, and aggressive feudal age strategy is definitely an option.
So is this map's called Glasses, right?
It's not. No, it's not called Glass. It does kind of look like a. Yep, it looks like a nerd. Actually, that's true.
We can call it, if we want to go really abstract, we can call it like Shake Weight or like.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, I guess it depends on our audience, right? I think that considering the audience, we're gonna go with nerd. That's fine. The reason everyone was able to pick up on nerd is because it looks like what they see in the mirror every morning, right? We are watching Age of Empires after all. But
who are you calling nerds, nerd?
I mean, I fully accept that I'm a nerd. All right, I have no shame, so nothing to be ashamed of here.
So we're gonna see. As Pizarro comes out here with a villager to wall this entrance from Senjata right away. We're going to see a bit more of an aggressive style from Pizarro, you think, and then a bit of a boomy style from Senjata?
Well, this is kind of, this might be an extra security blanket here. Just make a house and a few palisades to make it that much more difficult for Senjata to pressure. So no, I actually think that the villager coming out here tells me that Gonzalo is going to be looking to be protected, and there's the extra layer of palisade walls. Now, if I'm Senjata, I'm not too worried about that because I don't think Malay are really a feudal rush civ anyways. And he's just been leaving the gate open with a goat. He's going to push in this food, and that is probably going to lead towards a build order, which is just insane. 21 or 22 population fast feudal because you advance faster to the next stage with Malay. Bunch of eco upgrades leading towards a fast castle.
So the Turks game on this map in the opening stage, what was the initial strategy? I only got there when the Hussars were flooding in. What was the opening for the Turks?
What Gonzalo did was fast castle. It was pretty much like a straight up arena game where you go FC into light cav for map control on the sides.
Okay.
So he actually didn't pressure the middle, and then later on we ended up seeing the middle become important. But it's worth mentioning that the sides are really important too. There's food out here, there's gold, there's stone. So we made this map because I wanted someone who pressures the middle to have reward to clear out the enemy base. But then they don't have the sides, and it just creates some crazy, crazy games.
I'm pushing in all the deer. It's crazy how the zebra and the ostrich just hang out together. I didn't know they were friends.
I know. I thought zebras were rude. I don't know. I don't know too much about ostriches. But according to a few Reddit threads I've read, zebras
they're brutal, dude.
Yeah.
They are not nice.
Okay.
I can tell you that much.
Remind me.
Like, they're angry, man. They're the biggest bird in the world, and they can't fly. I would be angry too.
How do you have personal experience with an ostrich? Like, did you go to a petting zoo and one bit you or something? You seem really
Dude,
upset by this.
I've watched enough documentaries to know that you don't mess with the ostrich.
You watched a documentary on just ostriches or something that included ostriches? Because that's rather specific.
No, like the whole African biome, you know?
Oh, I see. All right. Oh, God, the ostrich. You're right. They are jerks. Jerks. Sorry, my mom might be watching. Sorry, Mom. I forgot to go to church this week. Here we go. Yep, the ostrich. Okay, going in towards the TC now. PG stream, ladies and gents.
He's like, he can't push it in. He's just going to give up on it.
What is he doing? Okay. This is so doubt, right? Okay, let's see. Taking your good old time here, Gonzalo. Let's see.
It's going to go to the other end of the wall, the annoying end of the wall.
Come on, you can do it.
Around the right side of the house? Oh, went
All
left
right.
side.
I mean, this is just perfect timing because the elephant and the zebra have finished. So, calculated if you ask me. And ostrich goes down. All right. So, Dave, it seems like the same build as last time. I think this is just going to be fast castle into some light cav for map control. And then over here, the build has shifted a little bit for Senjata, believe it or not, because you could realistically, with using a market, actually go up to the next stage. So I'm really confused. We see Loom, Market Blacksmith, but has not mined gold yet, Senjata.
Just going to sell the stone, I guess.
All of it, though? Is this a YOLO monk play possibly in the middle?
It has to be. If you're not on gold at all, like he's just now going out for the mining camp. He almost has 800 food. He's gonna just sell the stone for his gold income and click up.
This is way different from what Senjata did when he picked Malay against Portuguese. And wow, this is an insane FC time.
Dude, that time is nuts.
Oh my word. I mean, at this point, he's going to be in Castle Age around the same time that the enemy hits Feudal.
And the thing is, Pizarro, a lot of players as Malay will go up relatively early to get the eco upgrades.
True.
So the uptime doesn't seem that off for Pizarro. But the Castle Age uptime is going to be a big surprise for him.
I think Gonzalo's game sense is going to win or lose him this game. He needs to immediately stonewall this choke if he sees that he's in Castle Age. So what I expect to see here is Monastery Siege. I think we'll see YOLO, Monk, as we say in the Age of Empires community, Clown play, because a lot of the arena players, they play on Clown Legion.
But what does well against Clown play? What does well against the Siege Monk push?
Light cav.
Light cav.
But it's going to take like 3 minutes.
Yeah, you need like 3 layers of palisade wall or a stone wall here or something. You're correct.
I think that might be the fastest castle time we have seen, certainly in this tournament, but I think even in the qualifiers too. Certainly Gonzalo's got to know that if it's that fast, it's got to be YOLO, right? Guess not. Just kind of chilling over here, perhaps feeling secure with the extra layer of palisade walls here, Dave, but I'm really curious to see what happens as we see barracks now.
This is what I love about new maps, and this is what I love about Hidden Cup, where players develop new strategies because they know they're going to be playing in advance and it's not going to be sniped along the way, right?
Yeah.
Or counter stratted along the way. This impressive castle time with Siege Pike behind it.
Can you just, if you're expecting light cav, can you just go Pikeman Siege and that's all you need here?
Yeah, and I like the fact that he started out with a ram too. It busts through the walls quicker, and he could probably just, garrison his pikemen in there to keep it safe.
So Gonzalo is 40 seconds from Castle Age, lost a palisade wall, and is now adding more palisade walls. I really can't help but feel like a quick double layer stone wall would have been possible, but I can understand maybe wanting to save the stone. Okay, Dave, here comes scouts. In 20 seconds, they will be light cav, the Turk bonus, and maybe Gonzalo feels like he can defend from this.
Senjata housed pretty badly there. He really needed his production, and he's gonna get the mangonel probably taken out here. The ram will be at risk.
Wow. That was sick, dude. He did lose 2 light cav, but it doesn't cost gold or anything, and now you've just got a spearman, a ram, a scout, and that's it if you're Senjata.
It's funny because we got kind of 2 YOLO-ish strategies going up against each other, right?
Yeah. I like how the spearman hops inside the ram, waiting for a friend. And here comes that friend now. I feel like 2 spearmen should do well in this spot. But the fact that the ram is weak does help. And then the spearmen hop out. All right. We now see a monastery. But isn't, you know, the monk feels a little weird against light cav. It's good against any other civ but Turks. Okay, good micro here from Gonzalo, proving the haters wrong. And taking out... Wow, this is huge, Dave!
How does that kill both the scout and the light cav, but doesn't kill the ram that was on 18 HP?
Well, I don't know. But, oh, God, finish off the ram! Finish off the ram, Gonzalo. Okay, well, Gonzalo just gonna wait here in the choke. This is completely different from what we've seen in the past on this map, Dave. I'm absolutely loving it, but Gonzalo adds a second TC now, which is completely fine, right? Because he didn't have to sell a stone to go up this quick. So this is kind of the problem with playing this YOLO. You can't boom, you can't get an economic advantage if you're not killing from Senjata's position.
Yeah, Pizarro's going to be very happy with what has transpired over the last 3 to 4 minutes here. Because Senjata went up super quick, banking on the early Castle Age push. Still doesn't have that second TC. Like you said, Red has that. And Red's already going out with a third TC to the left-hand side.
This is so good, dude. Gonzalo's defense here and his awareness on this map is perfect. This is what I envisioned, right? Push in the middle is going to get hot and heavy, but then there's nothing on the outer ring, so you can expand to that. So great defense, good eco, and now you can take anything you want out there. And this slow arena-style push does not have a lot of success on the outside. I'd like to remind viewers that after losing Game 1 and Game 2 in the first round, Gonzalo won 3 straight to win the best of 5 to get here. The first win he got was with Turks on this map right here. So this is pretty exciting stuff.
3 spearmen are not enough to support this push, especially against like a player who was guiding his eco to light cav the entire time. He'll just outproduce you every single time. Come in and snipe your siege, snipe your monks, and then leave.
You know, Senjata's confusing me making another monastery for it, or at least that's what he wants to do. He doesn't see the Mangonel yet, but that's a great response from Gonzalo to take out siege.
He's trapped his ram in there?
He did, actually. Well, I guess it wasn't going to contribute too much anyways, Dave, but that's a funny moment.
Maybe, can you garrison that villager through that corner into the ram? that would be fun.
Monastery denied.
Question for the philosophers now. She's dead.
And that monk goes down, and this monk is also going to go down, but the Mangonel gets the kill at least, Dave, but 45 villagers against 39. I suppose it's not the biggest eco difference, but still feels nicer for Gonzalo sitting on 3 TCs to be able to defend this. Maybe even push soon, right?
What do you do here in Senjata's position? Because it's pretty clear by now that the Castle Age pressure isn't really going to work in the time frame you want it to work in, right?
But
are you looking at going to imp with monks, or?
No, I think you do exactly what he's doing, Dave. He sent 3 to stone so we could get a second TC. So he's gonna start to shift back into eco in a bit, but also it's fine balance here because he's getting redemption so he can convert the enemy Mangonels, and so he's asking questions of Gonzalo, but also gonna try and catch up economically. It is really good moment from him to do that.
He's been housed a couple times here, Tristan.
You flirted with the idea that this could be MBL. All right. Nope. A lot of people out there still feel like MBL was maybe knocked out on day 1, but
I'm going for the hard reads. Literally, like, no one else is saying this could be MBL. So if by the end of the tournament, when Senjata wins and we get MBL in the voice chat, if it is, we will all collectively look back at this moment
and say Dave was the smartest person out of us all.
Yeah.
Or 40,000 people just say you should have known better.
That happens on a regular basis. I'm used to that.
That's
I need
true.
a win. Yeah.
Dude, that's why I can't even, as I stream, people are already making fun of everything that I say and do. So at this point, it doesn't even bother me, man. I just brush it right off. Actually, that's not true. Please don't be brutal. Thank you.
So trades are pretty good here for Pizarro. He's been taking out the Mangonels as they come, but Senjata's managed to get a few conversions now, and now he has kind of some momentum to carry forward.
It does feel like Gonzalo, he never dealt with It's like a festering wound. I'm going to use an example that you brought up before, Dave. If you don't cut off that leg, it's going to infect the rest of the body. And he just didn't get rid of this threat. And now it's still here. Didn't know how much was going to be invested. He's got to be feeling a little awkward. And we know how good Senjata is at the small focus moments. He's going to see that Mangonel immediately. And even microwave from the TC fire. I mean, he is really playing good.
We got really morbid there for a second.
That was your example.
Looks like Pizarro's going to go try and slice a leg, but he decides better of it, and he's going to head back. He does have a Mangonel in defense.
Oh,
good shots, though, from Senjata.
Goodness, dude. And he also got a conversion on a light cav with help. Like, that micro, though, and the attention to detail while trying to catch up economically is just disgusting. Gotta feel a little worried if you're Gonzalo, because in the previous game, you were ahead by 20 villagers, and you ended up losing. So, similar, I guess, where it was all down to map control, too. And that Monk gets focused down immediately from the Mangonel. And, you know, something to bring up here. It's not just Gonzalo being slower. It's that Gonzalo is trying to manage 4 town centers now, whereas it's only 2 for Senjata. So he doesn't have as much eco to focus on. And here come the light cav! So many kills, Dave. All the monks could be gone.
Not there. Yep, all the monks are gone. The conversion luck was not there. And here's the Mangonel shots. The light cav are going to finish off that last Mangonel, and just Spearman now for Senjata. Feels bad, man.
That's not even minus 500 or 600 gold. That eliminates so much more than that, because the pressure means that Gonzalo can breathe and he can transfer to other resources, but also the resources invested into the siege and the monk upgrades were insane.
Second siege workshop.
Senjata doubles down. Double monastery. We have double barracks too. No, just one barracks. All right. Another siege workshop, and both players banking up stone, Dave. We could easily see a castle drop on Gonzalo's face.
Yeah, the thing that concerns me, though, as Senjata is going to explore the fact that Gonzalo's over on the left, is all the other areas of the map. The middle feels pretty good for Senjata.
Yeah.
But the sides, like, the mobility is going to be there for Pizarro to send Light Cav in for raiding.
Yep.
He's going to get good positions over there.
Well, he noticed it, Dave. He noticed the outpost, and upon seeing the outpost, makes his own, and is now sending Light Cav around. So it is perfect response from Gonzalo. But how many villagers could he lose, and just how much space could he lose if this castle goes up for Senjata?
Light Cav have shifted over to the left-hand side for Pizarro.
They can't deny the castle. Monks could convert the Mangonels. I think this castle should go up, in theory. That one gets converted very late, actually. What the?
That Mangonel really wanted to stick to one side.
Yeah. Like that honestly can make a big difference, because now there's only 2 villagers here. Here come the light cav, Dave. And immediate reaction from Senjata, and he's even sending pikemen back there. He's getting ready for this. This is so good. Such a good series. Cav archers again. this I mean, it's not too crazy with Turks, but cav archers again from Gonzalo. Okay, Gonzalo, I see you. But the castle will go up, Dave. Random knight from Senjata and the berries. And this is with Malay. They're not that strong, but they still kill villagers.
And he also has pikemen at home in defense. So if those light cav get in, the pikemen should be able to deal with that. And the knights are doing a lot of damage on the left-hand side.
And now you have to relocate your farm. So it's not just about the vill count. It's very similar to the previous game, actually, where it's what are your villagers collecting? So the food count is much higher for Senjata. I'm beginning to get that same feeling we got in game 2, Dave, where Senjata could just do this.
Yeah, he felt so far behind there when he got his initial army wiped up, right? And now he's going out to the left, going to try and secure that for his own. The cav archers, though, looping around for Pizarro.
Oh, wow. And he sees that. Is this going to be another epic game? It has all the making of it. I'm just loving life right now so much, guys. To have so many people enjoying this with us. 5 years ago, there was maybe like 100 people out there who would be pumped about something like this. Maybe a slight exaggeration, Dave, but
only going to be one TC left. Oh, sorry, 2 TCs left for Gonzalo in a second here.
He also needs to delete that barracks before it gets converted. And also, he put 3 relics in that monastery, Dave. So Sanjata can just take those relics back to his base.
Yep. And Sanjata knows that the Cav Archers are running around the sides, making Scorpions to defend his base, and still sending in Knights towards the exposed areas of Red's economy. This is an insane play from Sanjata.
I just don't understand. Like, this is the beauty, as you said, of introducing a new map, because the meta is completely different. It's all game sense and practice. Both players doing so well, Dave. I'd like to see Gonzalo, and it seems crazy, at least in my practice games, when you start to lose that farming eco, it takes forever to add them again. I'd like to see like 10 to 20 villagers make mills on the right side. It seems silly. Just make a few mills just to get your food eco up, to maybe get up to imp, but I'm just a low elo caster. What can I say?
He's in with the Cav Archers to the, I want to say main economy from Sanjata, but it's basically the only economy from him.
True.
And he's going to start hitting the farms there. I wonder what the response is here. Okay, Pikemen and Scorpions heading over to deal with those.
Well, with micro, could be dealt with. The thing about having Turk Cav Archers right now is there's nothing special about them until Sipahi comes in. And not even Bloodlines, Dave. So these Cav Archers do not have a lot of HP. And you can see that mattering here as Sanjata has already regated this.
Ooh, castle on the left-hand side from Gonzalo. He wants to secure that area, and he's seen the TC from Sanjata there.
Yep. Okay, Dave, you pick a position right now. Which position's the strongest?
I'd probably pick Sanjata here. Even with the less economy, even with that castle going up over there, I think you have the momentum, right? And whatever switch Gonzalo is going to go for, it's going to be a pretty expensive tech switch.
Yep. I'll tell you one thing. Gonzalo has figured it out, and Gonzalo is going to be on the way to the Imperial Age. Now, this could honestly, over the next few moments, lead to Sanjata focusing on the sides, and then Gonzalo pushing back through the middle with trebuchets and bombard cannons. So this is so exciting. I'd like to see a hard stone wall from one of the players on the right side. Just deny that in some way. So I guess CA for Gonzalo, he's going to stick with that. Go for those Cav Archers. Probably one of the strongest, most mobile option Turks could go for. Certainly you don't want to go Hussar against Pikemen off the bat.
I think he's going to get his archer ranges converted here, though. So there goes your production buildings. Thanks, I'll take those.
You're kidding. Delete it. Delete them, man. Get rid of them. Don't donate. Delete. Thank you. There you go. He says
all
not
three,
this time.
too. Preemptively. He doesn't want to bother with deleting that one later.
The thing is that is such a big deal, though. That's so expensive. That hurts your production time. And now he's going to add more. These will be fine, but that's got to be frustrating for him. All right, Dave.
Okay, Stonewall from Gonzalo. That's
huge.
what you wanted to see.
Yep. That's huge because you know that you're going to have an opportunity to push back the sides with Trebs and Bombard Cannons. And as you do that, you cannot let Sanjata expand to anywhere else. Very good game sense from Gonzalo.
I would have liked to see Sanjata go up a little bit earlier, to be honest. He's kind of prioritizing making villagers here.
Yeah. Well, that's also the difference. Gonzalo has had vills for a while, so the food count should be higher. So now you're pumping out all this food to get even with vills. You are melee, and I think we will see Imp come in rather quickly here for Sanjata, but times are going to be tough.
There's, oh my god, one of the relics that dropped out of Red's monastery is hiding behind that castle. You can barely see it. And it's going to be there forever, dude.
That's funny. Just one relic for Sanjata, so I'm not sure what happened there. Because I think there were 3 there at one point, but maybe it's on the way back. Yeah, it's on the way back, Dave. And these Cav Archers are still being microed by Gonzalo, which is impressive. But I say that as, okay, he loses one and continues to be annoying here. Speaking of annoying, more Cav Archers through the stone gate on the other side, Dave. And Sanjata will see the stone wall with the light cabin thing. Oh no. I'm not happy that he's blocked off that control.
Yeah.
What a game, Dave. It's so unique. And now big moment with the Cav Archers and Camels to take out the monks. Gonzalo didn't even have Bodkin this entire time?
No, like I said, it's an expensive tech switch to get all the cavalry upgrades. I mean, he didn't have Bloodlines, he didn't have Bodkin, he didn't have a whole whack of stuff. He's just finally getting that in here. I think he got Parthian tactics, which is good.
He also doesn't have his second farm upgrade. He doesn't have his second wood upgrade. He doesn't have handcart. So I mean, there's eco
Ooh.
upgrades here that really are hurting.
Sinjata's gonna find this gold on the right hand side.
Gold on the right hand side. Yes, does
He
see it.
sees
Dave.
that GC. Yeah.
Does see it. Can he do something about that? It's currently still okay. He's just hit him, but he's fighting with Castellage units. He loves his scorpions, whoever he is, and they're working well. And there's even more scorpions in defense on the other side. And I would say Gonzalo should make some hussars here as we see repairs from Sinjata. Okay, I know we talked about Yo. I know we talked about a lot of names. And I know the community said, like, maybe Velo and some of these other players might have been Viper. But is Sinjata the reigning champion?
I go back to that Celts game on Islands, and I feel like no.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Round 1 Celts on Islands was so out of place for someone like Viper.
It's not even just the Celt pick, it's like the way that game unfolded, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think that makes me shift back to thinking someone like Yo, because this is a massive name here. As for who Gonzalo is, I mean, same deal there, right? Dave, it's 124 and a half pop. I guess that Karambit Warrior died against it. What in the world is... Okay, thank you. And then 160 pop for Gonzalo.
Okay, so it's taken Sinjata quite a bit of time to tech into his army and get his production buildings rolling, and that's giving Gonzalo tons of time to mass the Cav Archers. And you were talking that Turk Cav Archers really aren't effective early, but if you get all the technologies for them, they could be really, really devastating, and it's getting close to that point.
Yeah, and the issue with Turks is lack of gold. Guess what? Gonzalo took the side. So he lost his main base, guys, and he took the sides and is going to be able to go for a very strong push here, Dave. This is such a beautiful map. We've seen wins through the middle, seen the sides prioritized too, and I'm wondering if maybe it's a weakness in Malay now in post-imp. Like their gold options, there's nothing really tanky for them that excites me.
Yeah, it's kind of a clash of cultures here, Turks against Malay, right? Like, Malay is good for the trash options.
Yep.
And Turks are great for the gold options.
True.
So it's just whether Sinjata can survive to that point in the game where the gold runs out. And at the moment, with all the control on the map, Red is looking like he's not going to let him survive that long.
He's just missing upgrades, which bothers me so much. He doesn't even have his first Cav upgrade in his Hussars. Like, why? You know, and now he comes forward with the Trebs. Clearly a talented player when it comes to strategy, but some of these small things, we've seen Sinjata punish him for. Cav Archers patrol into the fight, Dave. The Hussars are melting, but it is still a distraction, I guess, and still seems fine for Gonzalo, who again is confident, is now realizing he needs those upgrades. And can he take out the bomber cannons? Yeah, he'll get him. He should. There you go, and that's
bomber
expensive.
cannons, they feel really bad against, especially with all the upgrades against heavy Cav Archers.
Yep. Huge series today. Just the second best of 5 in the quarters after both players had insane showings on day 1 and day 2. We now see the unique tech coming in, so these Cav Archers will have more HP. I'd just like to see more of a Hussar meat shield here for Gonzalo. It's not bad, but the Hussar meat shield with safe food eco should be incoming.
Unique tech coming in for the Turk player.
Yeah. Dave, in the middle as well. Looks like at one point, there was a Treb attacking that castle, and that's been Bombard Cannon down. Then look at Gonzalo. He says, nope, and he takes out another Bombard Cannon. And just like in the first round, Gonzalo loses 2 games and then brings it back on bypass to extend the series.
Yeah, that was crazy how he was able to mass. It felt like so quickly he was able to mass those Cav Archers.
Yeah.
Because he was running around with like 2 or 3 in the back. His archer ranges had to delete all 3. And then able to mass and able to push Sinjata back as he's trying to catch up with Eco.
You know,
well played.
I can't help but think back to the early moments with the scouts and Lightkev for Gonzalo, because the pikeman, Maganel, Ram, all that stuff gets out of hand real quickly if you don't address it. And he did address it. And then he expanded when he needed to. And even this right side could have been so huge. I don't think Sinjata would have called the GG here if maybe Sinjata had 2 TCs on the right side, but that was all denied. So great presence of mind from Gonzalo to win with Turks again. And I think that will all show in the total economy too. The gold count very high, the wood count very high, food very close. And And even the stone, 4,000 stone banked up for Gonzalo.
Yeah, that was a really entertaining game, especially after coming off the last one. Very
I know.
similar, the like position switch for each of the players. You think one is in the advantage, and then the other one comes back, and then it happens again. Really good stuff from both of these guys.
Have you ever seen somebody pull off 2 reverse sweeps in the same tournament? Has that ever happened? Just saying.
I don't keep track of that. That's why we need a stats overlay guy. Come on.
I mean, we should probably bring that up if Gonzalo wins the next one, but I'm just saying that it's on the cards, at least for Gonzalo. One more thought I have about the previous game, Dave, is maybe when seeing the Civ matchup, Senjata realized how dangerous Turks would be later on, and so tried to end it early. Could definitely see that. All right, so we've not seen Senjata in his final form yet because we've not seen Senjata play on any home maps. Senjata picked High Tides early and then picked Cup afterwards. So in theory, Senjata should be more capable in the upcoming games. I've got a pretty strong theory here that it's going to be High Tides next. And if it is High Tides, it will be Mongols. We saw Mongols do quite well on the map before, Dave, but it's not necessarily the best. And my theory was absolutely wrong, apparently. And if you're ready, Dave, we can just go game 4.
Yeah, it looks like chalk that up on the list of times T90 has been wrong.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's getting pretty. It's a book by now. It's a novel by now.
All right, okay. MBL is Senjata. Okay, I'll remember that. Well, this reminds me of High Tide from Hidden Cup 3. We, of course, tweaked the map. It's now called High Tides, and here we are 43 seconds in. And it was very common to see Persians versus Japanese last year in the main event. And if you're thinking main event players who might prefer this map and played very well on it, both Viper and Yo destroyed everybody on this map. In fact, I think the only person who didn't destroy Yo on this map was the only person Yo didn't destroy on this map, Dave, was actually the Viper himself. So Persians and Japanese, you got to imagine there's going to be some heavy water play here.
Yeah, and I don't really know which one I favor here. Obviously, Japanese, super strong water civ, extra HP on their fishing ships, gather fish faster, lumber camps, whatever, only cost 50 wood. But the Persians, the docks never go down.
Yeah.
They produce faster. They get the starting bonus. So it's a really even civ matchup here.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the older version, where players were a bit closer together and the water mattered more, I would prefer Japanese. But here, because there's more land to expand to and Persians have more mobility, I might prefer to have Persians. But that's just, we're splitting hairs at this point. Both civs are really strong here.
Yeah, and I want to see if these players go for that initial water control. I assume both of them will, and then how quickly they switch onto land. I think that's really important, getting your transitions correct, especially like identifying if you're going to lose or win the water early. Because if you know you're going to win, you overinvest in water, and if you know you're going to lose, you have to identify that at the correct timing to switch into land. Otherwise, a lot of the times you see players overinvest in an extra 3 or 4 fires when there's no chance on them coming back.
And that's why I really like Persians here, because you don't, even if you think it's bad, you shouldn't have to invest into additional docks because your docks are already tanks. So on the flip side, you can be a bit greedier with Japanese because your fishing ships are tanks. And look at this. Both players sending a villager to the middle. Both players have their scout here, and both players knowing that the shorefish are normally off the island. They want to have a shorefish for their villager to collect resources. This will be fine for Gonzalo, though, because the villager's about to arrive, and Senjata's going to have to run. Will Senjata notice this? Villager coming from the right side, and great reaction, Dave. Man, these guys are so good.
Yep. Really great stuff from both, and Senjata's just going to pull that scout back near his villager, and both players will most likely keep their scouts in this middle area.
Yeah, it is 15 versus 18 HP, so Gonzalo's got 3 more HP, so he might keep Senjata honest. Oh. That's so annoying, dude. Gonzalo should continue. Honestly, wait, can you fight it? technically
He's
you're
gonna send the
ahead.
villager. Dude, he's gonna be so aggressive here.
Oh
Yeah,
my-
and he gets extra hits on the Vil first. That's really good.
I think the scout's the
Oh,
most
boy.
important here, Dave. I could be wrong. Okay, so now we have 2 villagers fighting, and Loom is on the way for Senjata.
Pizarro got Loom so early.
Oh, I didn't even realize it. Wow,
Yeah.
what a play.
Yep, and he's gonna push him away. He's gonna kill that villager. Senjata is housed, but not for very long if he just turns around.
Honestly, just delete the Vil. If you're PopCap, just delete the Vil. It's dead
Hey,
anyway.
get rid of him.
Well, actually, that's not true because it's actually a plus side to have Gonzalo not collecting food at the dock. So
Yeah, I can't believe he hasn't hit him yet.
he might
Just
not.
catch up.
He might not, Dave.
Oh my god, and another villager coming out here too. He survived.
And
he
now-
lived.
And wait, now does Gonzalo need to send another villager of his own? Because now Senjata's sending a villager over to the shorefish. I don't see it, so I guess Senjata still even, but Senjata might like his position slightly more.
I think that works out in favor of Senjata. Like so much idle time for Gonzalo's villager. He has to send it back and replace it with another.
Yeah. All right. So this is not, as we've said many times in this series, this is not quite what we have seen on this map. Awkward there at the start, but it was a great play from Gonzalo, so I think it's rather unfortunate that it turned out like that. And here we see the up times. It will be faster for Senjata. And what's important about having a villager there, Dave, is you can make a second dock, whereas Gonzalo does not have a villager out there, so it's just one dock approach.
How do you feel about like an Inca's play on this map? I know we don't have that Civ here,
Yeah, yeah.
but it seems so open. Like, is there a potential in later rounds to do that?
I think Incas are a wild card that could be used in the best of sevens. Because if you remember in a best of 7, you draft a lot more civs. And so then Incas come to mind with some crazy YOLOs on maps that we might not be seeing. Like in the best of 5s, we're seeing a lot of repeat maps. I mean, a few of the new maps have been picked, but not Quarry, and not some from the qualifier like Gold Rush. But we have to see it in the semis and the final. So yeah, I think
You know what
Incas
you
might
could
happen.
do with Incas on this map actually, because you want the dock on that middle area. There's not much surface area. I'm
True.
saying this as no action is happening, by the way, currently, guys. Go forward with the villager super early, palisade block the entire shoreline of that island, and then go for some sort of tower rush in the feudal age.
You know, the approach from Gonzalo, I don't think is that bad here because you talked about the transition. Your fishing ships are going to stay alive a long time anyways as Japanese. He's still going to contest for water a little bit. And Senjata's investing a lot into water while we have men-at-arms. But tell me Gonzalo knows the map. Where are you? Okay, he's looping around today, but that was really weird to me how he's going towards the south with his militia, soon to be man-at-arms.
Yeah, and there's just a villager hanging out there for Senjata as well. What's she up to over
Does
there?
he expect this in some way? I think it's going to be walls, right? Because if you don't have a barracks yet, you can't make an archery range, you can't defend from any pressure. By the way, hype, everybody. Thanks for playing your part in this event. 40K feels really good right now. It's insane viewership. Still got hair on my head, not head on my hair. I hope more people see this, though, because the games have been amazing, Dave. And
here come the
surprise!
men-at-arms. Big surprise there. Big hits for those men-at-arms. Gonna force all those villagers back. Doesn't have the scouting on that gold, though, so can't immediately shift over there.
And don't tell me you're just going to lose him. Okay, yeah. Does
Oh, we
lose
saw
some
the villagers
HP.
heading there, though. He knows something's up. Yeah, he finds it.
Oh, Dave. All right, so sees it, but it's walled. But you'll be happy with taking the opponent off of woodline. This is what sucks about not having a scout. You couldn't expect the man-at-arm play because you didn't have a scout if you're Senjata. Now, Gonzalo feels the need to say, okay, let's find the other woodline, and he misses out on the fact that Senjata's actually returning to this one and walling the other one. So scouting's so important as we do finally see a range here for Senjata.
Gonzalo still has a fishing ship, too. I don't know for how long.
Yeah. But you just have to keep Senjata honest. You don't want to allow Senjata to freely add more fishing ships. So one dock production is fine. You rely a little bit more on demos, and then you just follow it up on land. And there's the archery range too. I like the way the land eco is looking for Gonzalo. I like the walls for Gonzalo so far. It's looking pretty clean.
You know, if Sanjata focuses too much on land here too, there is a potential for Gonzalo to come back on water. He already has a
True.
fire ship made, and he's got a demo in there.
Yeah. Did he sneak that fire ship around the
Yep.
backside to loop?
Yep.
Wow. That's actually pretty cool.
And
That is-
just can't get in the walls with that archer at the bottom too.
Oof. Great walling from Sanjata. And just the small things like adding the second villager there, Dave, to understand the timing. Pretty sick. But the man-at-arms still here, still distracting, and this tells Gonzalo that he can hit another angle with his archers because Sanjata's not running forward yet.
There's some weak villagers in here too. Nice little house wall from Sanjata.
Yeah, I think instead of going for Vil picks, it's honestly better. Well, maybe here you see a villager on a hill, but I think it's better to just buy time. Attacking the Vils means that will get killed faster. It's better to buy time, and there he goes running, Dave, as you see the archers coming to the other side.
Yeah, archers looping around to that wood line, and all the archer production from blue is going south
Yeah.
towards the men-at-arms. So you were right there. Although he notices it right away and not able to get any villager picks with those archers.
The level is so high right now. It reminds me of last year, Dave. Like, the quarterfinals last year were so good.
Yep.
And
Pizarro's going to make a YOLO demo. He has the garrison point set to the fishing economy from Sanjata.
Okay.
And he's just hoping before the dock goes down that he can get it out.
I don't think so, Dave. Is it going to be a doubt demo?
Demo.
Doubt demo, 85%. You know, it's just too good to be true at this point that when the reveal happens tomorrow, that it might be him. The castles, so many things, man. But I think so many players that this could easily be. And wow, great catch out here from Gonzalo, who comes forward with an army that Sanjata wasn't expecting to see. And then great micro from Sanjata to fall back. This is sick.
I like how Gonzalo's doing like the little things, like using the Japanese bonus, going out and milling the zebra and the ostrich.
Yeah.
It only costs 50 wood, right? It's a nice little eco boost, especially since you've lost your fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And his economy behind this is looking pretty solid.
I feel like Sanjata's such a sneaky player himself that he always expects where the enemy's going to be. This is not the first time that he knows.
Remember game one.
Yeah, he just knows there's going to be something looping around here. He's got the fire ship there. He has the ranged units there. Very, very impressed with both of these guys. And while Sanjata has the fish, we see some market use here. And we just saw a stat about some players in their market use. I think the uptime should be close with Sanjata having the lead.
Yeah, Pizarro did really, really well with that transition. We talked about it at the beginning of the game. Like, once you know you've lost water, don't overinvest in it, right? Just build enough to keep the other guy investing.
Now, here's where the problem sets in. If in this matchup, if the Persian player has food, Japanese almost always are switching into archers, right? And Persian knights have extra attack against archers. Now, if the Japanese player has the extra food, they can make pikemen for those knights, which gives Japanese the edge. But as this fight goes down, and Gonzalo, to my surprise, is trying to take fights and losing a lot, I do feel like Sanjata should switch into a stable or two, and you see it now, Dave, and that's going to be tough for Gonzalo.
Yeah, pikemen against knights, like, it's great if you can actually get the fights to happen. But a lot of the time, the knights just run in circles, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a map so open like this. Gonzalo, if he wants to go into pikemen, he's either got to pressure somewhere important to Sanjata to force him to engage, or wall up his entire base before that.
It's tough, Dave, and I hate to be nitpicky on strategies right now, but that moment where you mentioned switching back onto water, it almost felt like the best play for Gonzalo because it was only 2 or 3 fires out, and instead it looks like he added a second range, and now that might not contribute too much to his position, right? He's probably just going to fall behind there anyways because that food income is so steady for Sanjata.
Yeah, it's going to become less and less steady, though, as time goes on. Like, look at how far the fishing ships are going. So it's becoming less and less efficient, and he's going to have to add extra farms.
Wow, Sanjata, just like the previous game, wants to take this fight nice and early with some siege, and thought about it, actually, Dave, and is going to go into a monastery now. Interesting. He saw the stable. He saw the stable, so he switched out to get some monks.
Really, really good stuff. These are very like Sinjata, obviously the execution is extremely high. The recognition is
Yeah.
extremely high, but the strategy and map awareness from Gonzalo is crazy as well. We've got ourselves a hell of a series here.
The technical stuff, probably you have to favor Sinjata. But in terms of strategy, I'd say they're about even. So, and that makes sense for a 2-1 scoreline. Because if it's even strategy, sometimes the technical moments can make a difference. In this case, a few seconds can make a difference. And already, Sinjata making use of those seconds with some monks on the way. The knights are out. Chain Barding's on the way. Both the wood and the farm upgrade now. This is a sick economy Sinjata's about to have.
I like how Sinjata added another dock to the left-hand side as well.
Yeah.
So when his fish expire on the right, it'll be super efficient over there. And he wants that food advantage as long as he can possibly have it.
You get to enough cross moment, Monk Knight isn't that scary. Because you can take out the monks, and then you can
Why
focus
are all the
down...
monks moonwalking? He just moonwalked the entire way back to the... What?
Everything... I've seen more moonwalking units over the last couple days than I've ever seen. And I think, like, maybe it's... I don't know if it was a recent patch or what.
Yeah, that was a Munkle Jackson right there.
Munkle Jackson, all right. Oh, geez. But Chain Barding's in on the Knights. There's a lot of skirms in the mix. I'm rather surprised that Sinjata's being patient. Why do people laugh at your jokes but boo mine? Okay, there's a few boos. Thank you, chat. Life is fair again. And 3 TCs for Gonzalo Dave, and he's going to try and get that eco rolling. And while he is behind, with one good fight, he can make it even like we've seen before.
Another stable for Sinjata. He's going to go triple stable production here. This is going to be really tough for Pizarro.
Yeah. So you probably need to get a few conversions, so he'll need monks and maybe even pikemen. If he does have monks out, he's going to take that relic. There are 2 relics in the south then, and there's extra stone and gold down there, but for now, the focus is definitely on the middle. See some knights going out for a counterattack from Gonzalo. House wall behind the palisades, and that's just another small moment where Sinjata is just on point. However, there is a hole between those houses, I'm pretty sure. So if the palisade were to... Well, never mind.
Pizarro's going to be... He's got to be really careful here. Coming out against Persian Knights.
He doesn't have enough, does he?
No.
15 crossbows? I don't think
maybe
he has
if he gets
enough.
conversion here, maybe...
Well, he'll get 1. He's backing away nicely. He's going to get 2. But that means that Sinjata's going to have the hill, and with that Persian bonus, and so many of these ranged units being skirmishers in there, don't expect this to be very good.
The skirm's getting value against the monk.
Monk going down there, Dave, and the crossbows are going down, and everything's going down for Gonzalo. Gonzalo loses this game. He's out. I don't know if there's any way back, Dave. It's just Sinjata's eco is too clean behind this. 15 villager lead. The Knights are going to continue.
And a 4th stable, too. He knows he can finish this in Castle Age. Flood Knights, what does your opponent do? They're forced to add either more monks or go into pikemen.
Yep.
And if they go into pikemen, you're super mobile against that. You can pick off their economy. If they go into monks, it's going to be a big investment.
What a player, man. What a player. I'm looking back at this economy, fixing everything he needs to do. Of course, the gold, too. How are you going to make monks consistently if you don't have that gold there, Dave? Conversion comes in. But I think, you could go 5, 6, 7 TCs behind this. You have all the map control if you're Sinjata. So usually players are going to lock this down and finish off the game. As you see 2 sneaky knights to the back area. It reminds me of other games in this series where Sinjata would just raid crucial spots. I've enjoyed this series so much. It almost is sad to see that it might end soon.
Yeah, it's especially sad because you usually find yourself cheering for the players that maybe, don't have the same speed, but make up for it in different areas, right?
Yeah.
And I really feel like Gonzalo is one of those, but you have to appreciate the skill level of Sinjata. Like, it's just been insane. The recognition to go for an extra 2 stables here, and the Castle Age pressure has just caught Pizarro off guard, and he calls the GG, and what an amazing set we just witnessed.
Is it fair to say that much of this snowballed from the villager scout situation at the start? Because think about this. When you research Loom early, you're then behind by a villager, right? which means you'll have one less villager collecting resources. If you look at the uptimes, I'm going to go, where is it? Okay. It takes, 30 seconds to create a villager? And Gonzalo Pizarro was 30 seconds behind to feudal age. And so that, combined with the fact that Senjata then ended up having that extra villager in the middle, I mean, that right there might have given that little bit of a lead to Senjata, which then ended up giving him the water. I mean, the small things matter so much.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if Gonzalo recognized that Senjata didn't have Loom there and didn't engage for the final hits with his scout on that villager.
Yes, yep. That's a good point.
That would have turned the game around completely. He would have scouted all the resources, known exactly where to go with the men-at-arms and with the archers, and would be able to pressure a lot better than he did.
Okay, and so one final point, and I touched on it already in this game, but instead of going 2 range against Persians who are going to have the food, maybe go 1 range. He was already putting on the pressure, and then sneak a dock up, Dave. Get a dock up, remain competitive on water. If Persians don't bring in all that extra food, they can never get to +2 knights in that big of a boom. So it's like extremely technical. There's all these tiny little details that matter, but that's competitive Age of Empires for you.
I'm really looking forward to watching Senjata in the future rounds because this player is incredibly entertaining.
Seriously, man. And that means Senjata moves on to one of the semifinals tomorrow. Easily one of the favorites to win that semifinal, but lots to talk about. All right, so I've got a kitten in here. Did I forget to close my door? Hello.